Jake.
Hello, and this is where I'm really going to be talking.
Yeah, that's exactly. That makes more sense.
Real volume test on where we're going to be. Yes, this is the ideal, and this is where I'm really going to be when we're on the podcast.
Damn it.
But I have the ability to be fine.
Stay like that all the time.
You got to make pay anything you want.
Man, I bet that sounds really crystal clear on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sound great on Spotify.
Wait, we're actually on Spotify?
Yes.
I said that as a joke.
No, we are actually, really, truly on Spotify.
Lumberjake, keep saying jokes. Maybe they'll come true.
Mike Pava gets a dump truck falling on him.
I thought you'd go somewhere else.
That was dark.
And me and JC live very long, happy, prosperous lives.
That's not even a joke.
Thank you.
And JC's...
Whoa.
You don't think JC deserves a little bit? He deserves a break today.
No, but he's being equally morbid now. He's like, listen, let's be honest here. JC's the first to go. We all know it, but you don't have to say it. Jesus Christ. You did. Without using your words, you used your eyes and you used your heart to say.
And your words.
Yeah. When you have to do the memorial supercut of all the things, I want you to put this here at the end so they know that you predicted my demise on Spotify.
Spotify, where you can hear all the episodes of Three-Way Theater from our back catalog.
That's Every single one.
Including Body Slam.
Unfortunately, including Body Slam.
Yep.
How about the minisodes?
Minisodes are in there too.
All of them.
Bonusodes?
Bonusodes in the podcast. And guess what, guys? For free, you get Best in Show.
Oh, Best in Show. And how about all those exclusive interviews that you did that we have on Patreon?
Yeah, like...
Oh, wait, no, those are also free on Spotify.
Wait, but listen, if he says it, it'll come true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a
Patreon
Patreon?
Yes.
Pava.
Is it Patreon or Patreon?
Patreon.
Oh. I don't think anybody will donate to us.
You never know.
They might donate to have us stop doing the podcast.
That's possible.
See, that's where we're going to make our money.
We're going to threaten
And then
to
we
keep
can
on
rebrand.
going. We're going to keep on going until you pay us to stop.
Yeah, I mean, more than fair.
Right. So you can now not only, find us on iTunes and Stitcher and tune in and on threewaytheater.com, but now you can just go to your Spotify app, type in Three-Way Theater, follow us. I deleted all my other apps, and I just put in Three-Way Theater.
Even Snapchat?
Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
You can't even listen to podcasts on that.
I know, but I was like, nope, I got to get as much space as I need.
To download all of our episodes.
Yes.
Smart.
Yeah, I know.
There's gonna be some trouble tonight. A very royal rumble. That's right. We'll step into the ring. We'll reach an understanding. When the smoke is clear, I'll be the last man standing. I'm gonna settle every score tonight. They'll take back every word they said tonight. I'm gonna show the door to every saint or sinner. There can only be one Royal Rumble winner.
That's not the Rumble I had in mind. WWE Royal Rumble, live Sunday, January 30th, only on pay-per-view.
This Royal Rumble had 18 qualifying matches.
Tell me all 18.
No, I did not.
You son of a...
I'm not going to say the other ones. I just figured I'd give you the most relevant ones. I don't think we should talk.
Put it in the casket.
See, I didn't. I don't really. I just want to.
Oh, you don't want to talk about everyone?
No. Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
I don't actually have a full life biography for every entrant.
Oh.
I'm not really going to do that.
Oh, well, now
Only the top 15 entrants.
And also, I do have a lot of tough enough stuff to get in, so that's why I'm not gonna. It's not. It's just gonna be real fast tough enough stuff. Like, oh, week 1 they did this, week 2 they did this.
That doesn't sound fast at all.
It'll be fast.
No one remembers this tough enough either.
Everyone remembers. It was. People say it was the greatest tough enough of all time.
I doubt that. Hard pass.
That's
Who's saying that?
a lot of people. Miz.
Was it the one Miz was on?
Maybe.
Welcome to Three-Way Theater.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Mike Pava.
I'm Lumberjake.
And I'm JC.
And this is Three-Way Theater presents Best in Show.
Now, you guys may know at this point, we usually have a little special guest
Do
for
we?
Best in Show. Yeah, I mean, usually, right?
They're not always special.
Oh.
Sometimes we just have a guest.
AG.
Yeah, but this time we do have a special guest.
We have Rudolph Giuliani Batello.
That's right, 2-time Peacock Award winner
That's right.
for
Welcome.
Best Guest Host, Ruy Batello.
You guys are welcome that I'm here. Not a problem.
Yeah, you've become bigger than the podcast at this point.
Yeah, well,
Winning 2 Peakies.
you know, some say that you're the best podcaster in the business because you only do one a year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Fact.
they can't get bored with you.
Nope.
Yeah.
And because
Keep
of
'em
that,
fresh and
I
wanting
also
more.
wanted to present you
Oh.
with your Peacock Award
Oh, bro.
because you are the 2-time award winner.
2-time winner.
Here
The
you
weird
go.
thing is, I
He
was
gets
gonna
Peacock.
bring the other Peacock Award and just have them both staring.
You
at
can
me.
do the Owen Hart.
Fact. I'm actually just gonna start telling you I'm not a nugget.
Yeah. You're
Oh,
told.
you've been saying that for years, unrelated.
Yeah.
I just love chicken nuggets.
Right.
They are delicious.
They sure are.
Well, what do we do here at Best in Show?
Well, Best in Show, we go ahead and we pick an event out of the vault. Usually Lumberjake, he always has this by design.
He's the curator.
Yeah, that's why they call him the Cure, Lumberjake.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Friday
That's-
I'm in love.
That's why they call him that.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
And Friday
Mystery
he's in
solved.
love.
Yeah. That's what I literally just said
He-
that.
But I said it again.
JC, you're so funny.
He's just reiterating.
You're
He
hilarious.
Thanks.
S-
So yeah, we go ahead into the vault. Jake has picked out a very specific special event that's near and dear to his heart and has forced us all to watch it.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And then from there, it's our job to kind of take a look at the matches, analyze them a bit, and then we come up with our own Best in Show.
Yes. So everyone picture it. SmackDown, Raw, 2005 Royal Rumble, Fresno, California, in front of 12,000 people. The tagline was, all the rumbling minus the dancing and singing.
Which is a disappointment.
Yeah, a huge disappointment.
Especially watching the commercial.
I
Yeah,
wanted
which
dancing
had
and sing like
a lot of dancing and singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the theme was Find the Real by Alter Bridge. I'm like, I can't dance to that.
Considering I've been dying to do a wrestling musical for years, all I'd want out of this Royal Rumble is a West Side Story dance-off.
So we watched the commercial, which involved a West Side Story-esque dance battle between baby faces and heels. And
Which was awesome
Yeah, it was fantastic.
because this is also the same time because the WrestleMania promos were the movie promos that are so beloved.
They were going
So
Hollywood.
they
in
were
2005.
definitely between this and that, just really thinking outside the box and doing some cool stuff.
yeah. And you know who didn't take quite kindly to that commercial being made, though?
Hollywood.
TNA Wrestling.
Total nonstop action.
Mahi! Woo, gonna get me some of that Mahi, Mike Pava.
Well, what-
you want some of that?
You might be wondering what the fuck JC's talking about.
Well,
Mahi.
I think everyone knows
Yeah.
what Cookiegate is.
Yeah, exactly.
Play the tape. Play Cookiegate.
He said
He
that
says with all
seriously.
sincerity.
And who's he?
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
The Rhodes.
Pronouns, pal.
The American Dream, the Rhodes.
Everyone knows what Cookiegate is, Mike Pava, so I don't
Yeah.
know what.
I didn't know what the fuck Cookiegate was.
Uh-huh.
Not by name.
Didn't hear about this happening.
But did you feel it in your heart? Get some of that Mahi!
I
I'm not a
also
fan of
didn't know
Mahi.
about it though until Lumberjake sent us the
Okay,
video.
so
in all
fair
fairness.
You know who is a fan of Mahi? The Road Dogg Jesse James. Head booker of SmackDown currently.
So, can we discuss what happened
Okay,
here?
so while WWE was filming in Universal Studio in Orlando, Florida, TNA was very, very close to there. So
Right.
They were
I mean,
in
they
Orlando.
filmed right
They
in.
were also filming there,
Yes.
So they made their way over. Miss Tracy Brooks with a platter of cookies. Shane Douglas and Abyss were the first ones to start making their way over.
I thought you just said, and Shane Douglas in a bisque. Like,
Oh yeah, he had the seafood bisque.
yada, yada, yada. We got kicked out of the building. I mentioned the bisque.
A bisque is carrying a bisque is carrying a whole bunch of balloons,
Balloons?
because they are welcoming WWE to their stomping grounds.
Yes, and then they make their way in there. Actually, they just kind of walk over. It's more Road Dogg, Ron Killings, and Conan that really barges their way in.
Shane is actually not seen in the backstage area.
Not immediately.
He couldn't even get that far in.
Yeah. So they start eating their catering, and they start just raising
what was in
havoc.
catering, Lumberjake?
Well, they had some salad.
Salad?
Yep.
Yep.
What else?
I don't know.
Something else.
It looks like
Mahi!
Hey, in there. Play that tape. Play Cookiegate right now.
What y'all, you eating mahi today? Tell Ben why to come out here.
I just want to get a plate.
I just want to get some mahi, man. Eating mahi. If I can get a plate of mahi in Orlando.
The Truth Killings, we got BG James, we got the big monster abyss, 6'8", 350 pounds, with welcome balloons. You can't be any more welcoming than that. And back here, we got Tracy with her cookies and her muffins.
The best thing of all is the Ron Killings just went up and stole their mahi.
man, Road Dogg just could not get over the fact they had mahi.
He wouldn't stop saying it.
Well, he
Said it
understands
15 times.
He understands comedy.
He definitely does.
So when you hear something funny, you want to just keep saying it.
It'll come right back around again and be funny.
Yeah.
We never kill jokes.
I gotta say, this is one of the most successful invasions that has been done.
So it reminded me. So remember that moment that WWE has kind of made revisionist history, that when DX invaded WCW and it changed the Monday Night Wars, coming in on a tank,
right, it wasn't a tank.
a Jeep, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Revisionist history.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the exact opposite.
You didn't respect this? They just wanted to bring some cookies and muffins.
They really just wanted the mahi.
Here's why I think it's different, because they actually got fucking people on camera.
That's true.
They did have to blur people out.
They had to blur guys out. Active superstars.
There's always been a lot of
Rey Mysterio or Ric Flair.
One or the other.
Depending on who you ask.
I'm leaning towards Flair.
Definitely Mysterio.
It was definitely Ray.
And then some people think the tall guy was Luther Reigns. Some people say Eddie Guerrero was out there. So
he was too tall to be Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I think it was Luther Reigns. He was a huge guy. But yeah, it was weird. It was weird all around.
Cookiegate.
Cookiegate, man, it changed the business.
Yeah, and they ate their food.
Yeah,
Ron Killings.
And did you know that after that show, after Ron Killings stole the Mahi and brought it over to Road Dogg, it changed the business forever, because now TNA started serving Mahi in their catering.
They actually couldn't afford Mahi after the first week.
That's true. That's actually
Mikey, for the guy that's supposed to be reading the Observer for us, I didn't know how you didn't read about this.
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about. I've never heard of Cookiegate until now. Didn't know this was a thing.
It was their 30th biggest moment on their top.
On their top 100 moments on TNA DVD.
I mean, I'm sorry that I didn't know. I apologize.
As you should be.
Yeah, apologize to us and our listeners.
I'm sorry. To make it up for you guys,
okay.
I'd like to discuss what else was happening in wrestling.
Oh, I thought you brought Mahi.
Please do.
So 3 weeks earlier, at the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view, Triple H won the World Heavyweight title for the 10th time.
Woo!
On January 18th, Pistol Pez Watley passed away of a heart attack.
I didn't even know he was sick.
Shaska Watley.
And here's a fun little tidbit. Stone Cold Steve Austin signed on with WWE Films to star in 3 movies with the company. This would eventually become The Condemned. Yeah. Now, Kane's movie was also in the early stages of production
See
here
No
as well.
Evil.
Correct. That is the original name. The name that they went with for that movie. The other title that they were going with at this time was
Skullfucker?
Nope. The Ice Cream Man.
Ooh.
EYESCREAM.
That's amazing.
They should have went with that.
The Ice Cream Man.
We all scream for ice cream.
I love that.
I thought that was a fun little tidbit. So those are the other things that were happening along with Cookiegate in wrestling at this time.
I just like to think that someone at TNA was like, this is going to get people to watch.
Yes.
Like, this is the moment.
They played it.
Mahi will be the thing that gets them to watch TNA more.
They played it so much on TNA back in the day. They played it all the time.
I mean, if I was watching TNA at the time, I would have been sold.
You also never watched TNA.
Never. No, I never.
And you knew about Cookiegate?
Well,
before this?
The MahiMahi.
Son of a bitch.
So actually, I wasn't watching much wrestling at this time. I've talked about it recently on our Fight Before Christmas episode, where it was Batista that helped to get me back into watching the shows regularly.
His
again.
babyface turn was so well done.
Well, it was well done, but watching this, I was kind of bummed, that some of it seemed very telegraphed.
Of course, but
they did it the right way. They followed through on it.
It was as much as it was being telegraphed. They let it burn. They did it for a long time.
The best thing about Batista's turn was, while they strung Randy Orton along and
Right.
made him a babyface, Batista strung them along as heels and made him even smarter as a babyface, and that's why they liked him, because he kept intimidating, he kept punking out Ric
Right.
Flair, Triple H, and that's why the fans liked him, because he'd do something. Because I saw the Raws leading up to this, and they had a beat the clock challenge, and Triple H said, "I bet you $100 you can't beat me, and you can't beat my time." And Batista beat his time, and the next week Batista's like, "Hey Triple H, where's that $100 you owe me?"
Yeah.
And Triple H's like, "Yeah, Triple H." Rick, give him the money. He's like, "No, I want it from you." And Triple H got super pissed, gave him the money, and Batista goes, "I'm just kidding, man. What are you get so mad?"
Everything they did wrong with Orton, they did right with Batista.
Yeah.
And you could tell that this babyface turn for Randy Orton did not catch on.
Yeah.
And I just want it was a very short
I-
time, and you could tell with this match.
I wasn't watching at this time, so I actually didn't see this pay-per-view when it happened. You
Well,
guys,
yeah.
real quick.
So apparently, Ruy and I
we
definitely did.
Oh, together,
Because
yeah.
it was about halfway through the show that I realized, because I remembered what happened at the end of the Royal Rumble match, and also a couple other bits on the show. We were definitely at either a pizza place watching it, or at Hooters at the time. We were not watching it anywhere else but at a bar. So it was I don't have full total recall of it, but there were moments where I'm like, I've watched this, and I wouldn't have gone to watch a pay-per-view without you, Ruy. So,
It's true. I remember this from the ending. No spoilers on it, but I feel like that's a clip that's been shown a lot. Just because of what happened.
Not shown as much as
I
you think.
I feel like it overshadows this pay-per-view. Like I said, I've never seen it up until watching it at this point, so I wasn't watching wrestling at the time. My original question, going back to this, is why didn't Randy Orton's babyface turn work?
Because just what we just said. Even though it was a telegraphed thing with Batista's turn, they let him be strong. They let him be smart.
Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit for the title. He beat a babyface for the title. And then Evolution turned on him as a heel getting turned on, and now he's supposed to be the babyface, even though he just beat a babyface. And not only that, he got turned on by the heels, and they beat the shit out of him. And he was already a shitty heel that they didn't like, so they didn't have any reason to like him.
He's also a dick.
And
Yes!
They also made him stupid. So whereas Batista could see all the heel shenanigans coming from Evolution,
Right.
Randy, foolish enough to be like, "Oh, we're all friends."
Okay.
And he was just made to look inept.
I didn't realize the timeline was so close together, going from Orton's from Orton's win and his being kicked out of Evolution to Batista's eventual turn.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so close together, and it really kind of
Orton's
blew my
turn was
mind.
at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've realized watching this pay-per-view is that in 2005 at the Royal Rumble, there are a lot of characters that are on the cusp of
Yes.
becoming.
Yep.
And that goes for Orton, because they would walk back that babyface turn.
It goes
very
for Orton,
quickly.
it goes for Cena, it goes for Batista, it goes
Edge.
for Edge, it goes for
So this is like a real
Guerrero,
interesting pay-per-view
Benoit.
to watch. It really is.
Jericho even.
Yeah.
So let's jump into it. Do you have
Let's
any
do
other
it.
notes, Lumberjake? Before we start it off?
Yeah, I got a couple of little. I guess not. The Mikey, don't you have the Sunday Night Heat match that took place before this?
The Sunday Night Heat match that took place before this was a qualifying match.
Nope, not a qualifying match.
A Maven beat Rhino on Heat with a cheap roll-up.
Yeah, Rhino went for a sunset flip, and Maven fell on top of him.
What?
Held onto the top rope.
Maven, leading up to this too, kept trying to get qualifying matches to get into the Rumble.
Yeah, he was
but
given
it-
multiples.
It never happened.
Was
He
it?
kept-
Was it last year? Was it the 2004 Rumble? Which
The
one
Undertaker?
Was, yeah.
Yeah, I believe in 2004
That
was
was
the
04.
Undertaker. Yeah, which was that was a great moment too.
Great moment.
That's a moment that's played also.
Now with this, Maven here is a heel.
What?
Yeah,
Maven's a heel at
heel
this
Maven.
time.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah,
Maven had he was doing a really shitty heel gimmick at this time, which was pretty cool. And then they eventually teamed him up with Simon Dean as his personal trainer.
Is it true that Anthony Green has modeled his entire career off of Maven's heel turn?
Anthony Green, Maven is his favorite wrestler in
Yeah,
the entire
legitimately.
world. And he was given he's like, hey, promoter was like, hey, you can wrestle anyone you want. Who do you want to wrestle? He's like, Maven. And they brought in Maven, and he wrestled Maven. It was on his return tour. But Maven,
right.
he had several qualifying matches. He didn't win any of them.
right.
Monday Night Raw, they really differentiated. If someone lost a qualifying match, then they weren't in it. SmackDown, it was all over the place. Just like people that won had another one and they lost, but they were still in, and the other person got in. It was fucking crazy.
Well, some of the undercard, we'll get into it once we get to the Rumble.
I really missed the different sets that they'd come up with. Like,
Yes.
this was really cool. It really tied into the promo that we talked about with the West Side Story influence, and with like the steel girders.
Yeah.
It was just really cool, and I missed that.
They don't do that because once they went HD, they have the HD set, and
right.
everything is just so boring.
I also love how the SmackDown commentating team is at ringside while the
And
Raw
ones,
team
it's
is
almost like Nitro was
set back. Yeah.
I did note that because again, I wasn't watching at the time, so like that was Eric Bischoff's big thing. Like, we're gonna put the commentaries up here.
See, I liked it. So to me, a little change
It's
like that
different.
is different. That you could tell the difference between the two teams, and I feel like this was the first time they really went into the split, right? Where they had the draft.
That can't be true.
They had the draft the year before.
They had the
right?
draft in 2002. The draft
Was it that
first-
long ago?
Yes.
No, because the original. So it wasn't. It had to be 03
the brand
then.
split happened in 2002.
No way.
with Ric
Yes.
Flair and
Yes.
Vince.
Holy shit.
Because WCW ended in November of 01 when they did the Alliance ending.
Man.
Then
So-
Flair came in. Yeah.
See, but so at this point.
Your theory's full of holes.
No, so let me get back to that. So at this point, it's been a few years. Did they keep Raw and SmackDown separate to this point? Like,
Yeah.
were things?
Yeah.
That was my question. Like,
I mean,
things-
they would-
been completely separate. I don't know about
they would
that.
do-
They had a SmackDown magazine.
I feel
for
like they
Christ's
would have
sakes.
matches.
Oh no, they definitely had a SmackDown.
I feel like they'd have things at like Survivor Series, like brand matches, shit
but
like
they
that.
still had the brand separate pay-per-views. Like they.
Oh, yeah, they were still separate brands.
Because when we
except
get
for the Big Four.
when we get to the point in the Rumble where, spoiler alert, SmackDown versus Raw, and
That
they
was-
get into
that
this
was a
big
fun
brawl,
moment.
it was the crowd was going fucking ape shit for
They
it.
did go huge.
They were
popped
going. So
huge
to
for
me,
that
it's like,
moment.
wow, they really they had to have done a good job of keeping things separate up till that point.
I think that might be a little bit of. I mean, I wasn't watching the
Again,
week.
me neither. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking this question.
This also is the very first time since the Wrestling Classic pay-per-view that there were no tag team matches featured on the pay-per-view.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck the tag teams.
They've always hated tag
You know
team
what?
wrestling.
True.
I didn't miss it, especially on this show.
It probably would have been some weird makeshift team anyway.
Were there 4 matches and then the Rumble?
Yeah.
So that's all you need.
The 2 title matches, and then one
Plenty of
SmackDown
backstage
match.
vignettes.
And then our opening contest, which was Shawn Michaels taking on Edge.
Man.
This was a long burning feud since Taboo Tuesday, when Shawn Michaels won a voting over Edge to become the heavyweight champion, to become the match number 1 contender for the heavyweight champion. Edge interfered in the match, cost Shawn Michaels. Shawn legitimately tore his meniscus in the match, and it was blamed on Edge. So Edge would focus on Shawn's knee, and he would talk shit about him. And
So was that Edge's heel turn? Was that his heel like?
he walked out of a match with Chris Benoit that same night on Taboo Tuesday. And that night he turned heel on Shawn and cost him the match. And leading up to it, he was very bitter at Shawn.
It's all new to me.
Yeah, and
So how far away? Oh,
at the Elimination Chamber match, which was at the pay-per-view before this, like earlier in the month,
3 weeks earlier.
Shawn Michaels cost Edge the match because he was the referee, super kicked Edge, and that led into this feud.
I did what Ruy does for this match. I got excited I saw who the 2 wrestlers were, and I was like, man, I'm excited for this.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Shawn Michaels. Early Edge here in his heel role. I mean, just I've never heard of this match before. or after. It's not a match that is like.
I was excited for this match, but the match, at least towards the beginning of the match, didn't quite click to me.
You're absolutely right on that. And I was going to ask, how far away are we from the actual Rated R Superstar?
Wasn't the Rated R Superstar until 2006?
Well, because I remember that at
less than a year, yeah.
Well, at New Year's Revolution 2006, when I was watching, was when they pulled the trigger on Edge beating Cena with the Money in the Bank.
Yes.
So he had to have become Rated R around WrestleMania?
No, that was actually New Year's Revolution 2005.
Really?
Yes, because
he didn't win the title in 2005.
Yes, because at SummerSlam 2006, he was already the Rated R Superstar.
Right, but we're watching the 2005 Royal Rumble right now,
which was in January.
Right, New Year's Revolution is in 2006 in the new year.
No, it was no. It was,
yes,
it was the end of 2005.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay,
you
do
Talk
that.
Talk about the match.
So as much as there
Juicy's gonna look like such a fucking jackass in about 20 seconds. You guys just wait for it. It's gonna be glorious.
As much as there were some hiccups.
Egg on the head.
All right, well,
Lumberjake, where'd you get that egg from?
I've been carrying it.
It's left over from the egg challenge, egg roulette challenge, which you can check out on threewaytheater.com.
So this match didn't initially click with me at the very beginning.
Right, and I think that was just, Edge is still
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. On January 8th, 2006, Edge defeated John Cena by cashing in Money in the Bank after the Elimination Chamber match to win the WWE.
Oh, man. Jake has egg on his face.
Jake, come here for a second.
Oh! It was hard-boiled.
So about a year.
Okay, but then he won Money in the Bank, right? Or how did he get Money in the Bank?
Would that have been
WrestleMania? That was this year's WrestleMania.
So then he must have been Rated R. He must have developed the Rated R persona right around Mania time, right?
Do you think it was after the WrestleMania?
Well, because he put I remember he put the sticker on the briefcase.
Yeah, the R sticker, yeah.
So
actually, that may have been the second briefcase.
Oh, yeah.
Because he won twice.
Oh, man, this is all like
it's all
such
blended
a blur.
together. Yeah.
I never realized Edge won Money in the Bank twice.
He stole one from Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, he
right?
didn't win the second one. He
was
beat
the first
Mr. Kennedy.
Though,
But there's a point in this match where things aren't just going as I would think they are, and then Edge hits this really brutal baseball slide on Shawn Michaels, and I'm like, okay.
Very in the beginning.
Yeah,
yes,
because Shawn misses one, Edge gets in, hits him with he just kicked him so hard. I'm like, all right.
Well, for me, I don't think it was until the spear on the outside that
the spear on the outside was great.
That Edge started working the crowd, so we actually started getting heat. Because everything before that was just kind of basic wrestling back and forth, and the crowd was into Michaels, but they weren't really reacting to what Edge was doing.
There was a lot of random bleeding in this match. Like it looked like someone got cut on the arm.
Edge was bleeding from the mouth at this point.
Edge was bleeding from the mouth. It was weird.
Yep.
I actually loved the point after watching as much of this feud develop as I did when Edge walked out on the match, and I'm like, after all he fucking did to get this match with Shawn Michaels, and after all the shit talking, he's gonna walk out on it, and that's when Shawn went to get him. Mike Chioda was pulling Shawn away, and then Edge hit him with the spear on the outside. I thought that was a nice little build up right there. And also, there's a guy in the front row with a flip phone with the antenna pulled up. I'm like, man, 2005.
He was talking on the phone and flexing at one point later on.
Yo, you can totally see it right now. Yeah.
Do you see me? Yup.
What was everyone's favorite spot of the match?
My favorite spot of the match was the sweet chin music countered
into the electric chair.
I said the same thing.
Me too.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
JC, are you gonna make it a foursome?
I sure am.
Yeah.
What a fucking move. What a counter.
So good.
Because you don't see the electric chair that much or done correctly.
Yeah.
So I feel like seeing the counter into the electric chair was great.
Yeah. I love that fucking spot.
Without knowing what the finish actually was going to be, I was kind of I wanted the match to be over. And when they did the small package finish, I was like, that should have been the finish. And then they immediately went to the finish right after that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, alrighty then.
Shawn Michaels was definitely in the ropes, but he got himself out of the ropes also for the finish.
I was actually surprised Edge went over.
So
that was good.
I know I don't want to speak for Ruy, but I know that for us, Edge and Christian was the fave. We always joked about how even during Edge singles matches, Christian would do a run in and take all the bumps. And Edge was just the guy that everybody pegged as the main eventer. But Christian was doing all the work.
Christian was the workhorse, and I feel like later in the pay-per-view, he had one of my favorite vignettes.
Oh, yeah.
Where I actually rewound it and showed it to Trish 'cause
we'll
it was
get to
amazing.
it. I'm so excited.
But it really showed me. It took the Rated R Superstar gimmick. It was taking the heat being paired with Lita that finally gave Edge that traction because here
It gave him an edge.
Mikey.
Or you could say it sharpened his edge.
Okay.
Copyright.
So we get our first backstage vignette, which is number drawing.
Man, I was excited to see this as well.
Yup.
Like, this is something that you saw in the early days of the Rumble.
You either got that or you got the pre-show vignette where you got like 10 guys in a row while cutting promos.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always fun.
Why they're going to win the Rumbles.
But we get Eddie Guerrero and Ric Flair. Could you have asked for anyone better?
So first these two guys come out like, man, what a pair of these.
Yeah,
Like, what's
right?
going on? I didn't know.
It's like at the Oscars when you had two people come out. It's like, wow, what a power team.
I actually thought Eddie Guerrero looked like he stole his dad's suit because the suit just looked so large. I know it's like that zoot suit style.
that suit was stolen.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely stolen.
Nothing he wears is actually his.
This whole thing.
Why would you think that?
He stole.
Why would I think Eddie Guerrero's
Yeah, why
stole
would you
his
think
suit?
that? Why do you look at me like I'm a
Because he
fucking idiot?
lies, he cheats, and he squeals.
Okay.
Mankind.
Yeah, he squeals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think what Mike's
It's called
alluding to.
a softball. We're setting you up for it, motherfucker. You look like I'm a fucking idiot. We do a podcast.
The next
we fucking
WTF
entertain
moment.
people, for Christ's sake.
WTF moment next year.
Holy shit.
Mikey
Listen.
doesn't understand Eddie Guerrero's gimmick.
Yeah, and that's what it'll turn into too. With your revisionist history.
It's canon. It's canon.
I
Remember
told
when
Trish
Mikey
the other
didn't
day,
understand?
I
you don't
do
wipe your
remember
hands
that.
after pooping. Jesus. She was disgusted.
Christ.
He won a peaky.
He did win a peaky for it.
2 years in a row, that guy.
So we had Christy Hemme from Raw and Tori from SmackDown.
Yeah,
as the,
Christy Hemme.
as the
Christy
ball
Hemme.
girls.
Christy Hemme had won the 2004 Raw Diva Search.
Her ass was hungry, right?
Yeah, oh, it sure was. She did a split on a pie. Now, me and Mikey watched a little clip from the old Raw Diva Search. The Raw Diva Search actually it bred a lot of people that ended up wrestling and being hired shortly thereafter.
Okay.
Me and Mikey watched a short clip of it during a Diss the Diva segment.
Man.
Was that The Rock? Was The Rock there for that?
No, that was the pie eating contest.
Oh.
Diss the Diva was hosted by Stacy Keibler. And Maria, it started off with Maria getting eliminated, Maria Kanellis. She gave the double middle finger to Carmella. This another woman, not the Carmella.
Oh, Mella's money.
Different
Not
Mella.
that Mella.
Carmella de Caesar. And all the other
Was she
girls.
stabbed in the back.
Well,
It's funny you say that. All the other four contestants proceeded to cut the most brutal, vile,
Holy
disgusting promos about her, calling her a cum-burping whore.
Yes.
Calling her...
Wait, and you didn't send us this video? You sent us Cookiegate, but this video you didn't send us.
Correct.
Come guzzling Mahi.
that's disgusting.
For Mike
Worst
Haven to be
insult.
disgusted, that's
I'm
impressive.
grossed out.
And I'll tell you what, get your new cum guzzling Mahi shirts now on tpublic.com.
We were fucking popular, that would be
That
a
would
thing.
sell. But they were all swearing and just...
On live TV, saying that she looks better with a cock in her mouth.
saying that she had a gap so wide you could drive a truck through it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, the end of the Attitude Era.
It was
Not
2004.
yet. There's like 4 more years of the
Yeah.
Oh no, it's ruthless aggression. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But
Don't get confused.
you know,
Ruthless aggression.
as
Oh.
fucking brutal as that was,
Yep.
in this time period, 2005, like looking out in that crowd for this pay-per-view, the crowd is still hot
Yeah.
for things.
Amazing.
Okay,
Eddie
like-
Guerrero was so over in the
Like,
Rumble.
and it's something you don't, and it made me think, like, what changed? Oh yeah, a year later, Chris Benoit killed his family and himself,
2 years later.
and then
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero was dead a
and
year
then
later.
like
Oh.
It was later that year?
He
later
died at
on in
end
the
of
year.
2005, Eddie Guerrero passed away.
No, you didn't. JC's going to look like such a jerk.
wait till he finds out.
Because in the
Beat him in.
2006 Royal Rumble, Rey Mysterio won for Eddie
Eddie.
Guerrero.
But we
Oh,
are
that's right.
speaking of Eddie, him and Ric Flair drawing the goddamn
oh, yeah.
numbers. Fucking
Amazing.
he draws his number. He's a little not happy with it. Ric Flair draws his number. He's psyched. fucking couldn't be happier. He's wooing. He's fucking partying. He puts it in his pocket. He's ready to go. Eddie gives him a hug, congratulates him, walks out. And everyone's like, Rick, what number did you get? And he pulls it out and shows them all cocky and happy. And they're like, you sure about that one? And he looks at it. He's like, Guerrero stole my number.
So good.
What I loved most about this segment is that they didn't even try to have Eddie Guerrero steal the
Nope.
They just like
He
hug.
just gave him a real hug.
Yup, real hug, and then they just
It already
had
switched.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Because with Eddie Guerrero, he's like magic.
It's fucking magic, JC.
What?
Yeah.
Next up,
Real magic?
Next up, we get the best promo of the night: Snitsky and Heidenreich.
I forgot about both of them, and seeing them just gave me nightmares.
Okay, ready, Lumberjake? Let's go. I really like you, Gene,
I really like you, John.
but I really hate caskets.
I don't like caskets either, but I got an idea.
This is so creepy because this is exactly what it was like.
Me and Mikey
My
are so
notes-
close.
I will
My
tell you.
notes said lots of eye contact and use each other's first names a lot.
I'll tell you right now. Me and Lumberjake did not practice that.
No, it was pretty good. It was right on the spot.
Well, you guys are both lifelong Heidenreich and Snitsky
I
fans.
mean,
correct.
yeah.
It's not his fault.
Snitsky had debuted in September of 2004, hitting Kane in the back with a chair and having him crush Lita and cause a miscarriage.
That was his debut.
remember that.
That was his debut. He debuted in the ring, no entrance. He was just like a
Wow.
job guy. It was just he made it seem like he was going to be a job guy. Hit Kane with a chair, crushed Lita, miscarriage
His
angle.
debut was a
It
miscarriage.
was a womb goof.
A womb goof.
And the next week he punted a baby into the crowd.
A
Is that
plastic
real?
ba-
It was a doll baby.
It wasn't a real baby.
Nope, real
Wait,
baby.
no, Ruy Batello now believes a real baby was kicked into the crowd.
WTF moment.
That's also canon.
Now you know how it feels.
Leading up to our next match, Undertaker versus Heidenreich.
Man.
So, were the rumors true at the time? This is me kind of going back and reading some of like Observer notes. Was Heidenreich supposed to be an unfrozen Nazi?
The man that... Okay. So the guy that pitched the angle of Heidenreich... His idea was that Heidenreich is an unfrozen Nazi. He was a frozen Nazi, and now he's an unfrozen
Thought
Nazi.
out in 2004, ready to
By
go.
Paul Heyman, the son of concentration camp survivors. Which
What?
is true.
I can't believe this.
Vince McMahon stood up, said, "That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard," and he left the office for the rest of the day.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
They had
So
a party.
Vince thought something was in poor taste.
And that directly led to that writer being fired.
All right.
However, Heidenreich did end up being managed by Paul Heyman. He was not managed by Paul Heyman this night because a couple weeks prior, him and Paul Heyman had a handicap casket match against The Undertaker, which Paul Heyman got put into the casket and he
Wasn't heard from again.
Yes.
Dead.
Yeah, he was fine.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
But yeah, man, Undertaker has these great odds. Everyone that hates him are horrified of caskets.
Yeah, they really not scared of anything except for caskets.
It's like how everyone happened to be afraid of snakes when Jake Roberts wrestled them. Like that was their biggest fear in the entire world. Like
Also-
Rui's.
When with rubber snakes. I also find it funny because normally when something is your specialty match, you lose it.
All the time.
But I can only think of like one, maybe two times that Undertaker actually lost.
well, that's funny
the
you say
casket
that,
match.
Ruy Batello, because I've got the Undertaker's casket match odds.
You mean his record?
In his televised casket matches, at this point in his career, he was 5-5-1 in televised.
Wow.
In 2000,
Wait, how do you
in
tie
2005.
a casket match? Do both guys go in?
him and Kane had a no
Or no
contest.
guys go in.
They both broke the casket when
That's
they were wrestling.
awesome.
They both went inside and they broke it from the inside.
That's
Amazing.
awesome.
As of today, Undertaker's current casket match record is 12-6-1.
Oh, so he got the record up.
And this is his third match, his third casket match out of Royal Rumble, and he's lost both of the ones before this one.
I was going to say, because it was the one with Yokozuna.
Yoko.
Where he
Yokozuna.
got the
Royal Rumble 94.
Royal Rumble.
Ships in the night.
Yes.
Undertaker being lifted up.
Yes,
Yeah.
when he was resurrected.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
also lost the 1998 Royal Rumble to Shawn Michaels, and then Kane set it on fire.
Sure did.
I love how one Druid goes into business for himself and shows his face as he comes out to the ring. I'm like, you know what? All right.
I was curious to know
I was
who
on
they
TV.
The pomp and circumstance for a Heidenreich match. There's 15 minutes of Gaga, where even Taz is on commentary being like, "Let's get this thing going."
Well, Undertaker.
That's a good Taz.
Undertaker was working doubles. Yeah, that was a great straight Taz.
Get gayer as the night goes on.
Undertaker was working like double speed for Heidenreich. He was like doing arm drags, and he was just going all as fast as he
off
could.
with the international, reverse the hip toss, hits the hip toss on Heidenreich, and then an arm drag. I'm like, what is going on?
Undertaker with the debut of his MMA shit throws a triangle choke.
Well, he's also in Undertaker in his legendary career in WWE has had some real awkward hair phases.
He's also had some really bad opponents.
He is currently. I can get over the bad opponents. It's the awkward hair phase that's really. It's tough to take him seriously because by this point,
tough to undertake him seriously.
That's true. Because he was the Booger Red Big Evil before returning as the Undead Phenom at WrestleMania 20. And he's been growing his hair out ever since, but he's, almost a year later, he's just still not quite there.
He's probably snipping it a little bit, trying to help it grow.
Fucking Undertaker chokes out Heidenreich, but Snitsky comes and helps, breaks it up.
Hey guys, Gene Snitsky here.
Oh, hey Snitsky, are you gonna help? Are you gonna sell that power cooker to us?
Yes. I have a question. Do you think Heidenreich is Donovan Dijak's dad? Because I feel like the side profile.
I hope not.
Looks like I'm like, that looks like Dijak to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dijak.
Heidenreich is legitimately fucking crazy. And
He's awful.
And his push up until this match made him look terrible, like very bad.
I want to see.
He made himself look terrible.
I want to see a. I want to see a Heidenreich PCO tag team.
I'm going to be honest with you. I like this match.
You're insane.
Are you kidding?
No,
he's serious.
I really like this match.
You're insane. Hold on. Stop. There was a part in this match that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
That being said, it had nothing to do with the rest of the match. Yeah.
Just go for it.
Fucking Kane pops out of the casket.
Not just pops out of the casket. This match has been going on for a few minutes. And Taker's starting to get rolled toward the casket.
Yeah, Snitsky and Heidenreich are dragging him towards the casket. It's like, oh shit, here it comes.
This is over with for the Undertaker.
And then Snitsky throws the casket open.
Oh my God!
It's not true. The referees lifted the casket up.
And boom, Kane's inside, and people go crazy.
People go apeshit.
They go banana.
Talk about awkward hair faces. It's when Kane shaved
the first
half of his head.
Yeah, I like that.
That's because the front of his head was burnt.
And yeah, duh.
Yeah.
And then Kane gets out. He's like, "You killed my unborn son," and starts fighting with Snitsky.
And then Undertaker was like, "Who, me? Oh no, we're cool. I just murdered your parents. All right, cool."
Now, prior to this point, Kane, a few weeks prior on Raw, had chokeslammed Snitsky
off of
the stage through some tables.
That's why they're all bandaged up and dinged up.
Yes, we haven't seen Kane since then. But however, Snitsky's just walking around.
No, we've seen Kane since then.
Okay.
Kane won a qualifying match for the Royal Rumble in a triple threat match against Gene Snitsky and Maven.
You're right. I actually have that written down somewhere.
And they were both so hurt. Maven ran over and just started punching Kane in the arm, and Kane dropped to the ground because he was so hurt from going off the stage.
Kane's never been so weakened in his entire life.
And Snitsky still has a black eye. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and then he just appeared in the casket and blew my mind.
I'm just glad that there wasn't a point previous to this where somebody tried to put somebody in the casket. It would have been really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like if Undertaker was winning and was going to roll Heidenreich in there, like, oh, Kane! Hey!
But he didn't.
What's up?
But
it worked perfectly.
No, he wasn't in there at that time.
Also,
he was only in there after Undertaker needed him.
Michael Cole says for Undertaker and for Heidenreich and then for Kane and Snitsky that both of these duos here, they're their arch rivals.
Yes,
they're correct. Nemesis. Yeah. I actually have that as a note.
Now...
Can you get? So I was going to ask, at least for Kane, for Undertaker, and
do you think that's overestimating the importance of Gene Snitsky and Heidenreich?
I think here's the thing: Snitsky and Heidenreich's arch nemesis are Kane and Undertaker, not the other way around.
Snitsky's arch rival is fetuses.
Feti.
Heidenreich's are the Jews.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Those are
Is
their
it
number one.
racist?
Is it racist?
You decide.
So in this awesome moment, Heidenreich crushes the Undertaker to death between the casket and the fucking ring.
That was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
With the leg drop, right?
No, when he throws the casket into the Undertaker.
Oh, so yes,
No,
into the
Undertaker was
apron.
underneath the ring.
Yes.
No, he wasn't. He was right under there. He just happened to be laying under the apron.
He did a good job of covering it at the last second. That was really cool, and it looked really good for everybody else.
And then the Undertaker hit that gnarly fucking leg drop in
Then
on
That was my spot.
My
spot of the
spot of the
match.
match, Undertaker sandwiches Heidenreich between the ring and the lid of the casket, and the leg drops the fuck out of him.
No caring about how Heidenreich is going to be for this. He
No.
kills him with that leg drop.
Michael Cole says, vintage Undertaker with a twist. So I only assume he had a lemon in his pocket.
I would have much rather have seen this as a tag team match leading into WrestleMania.
So I was gonna ask, like,
We never got it.
I had to assume that originally the plans were to build this to Mania,
right.
Like to do this tag match.
After how bad this match was, they should have released Heidenreich.
I wouldn't say it was a bad match.
If
You wouldn't, I would.
If the match had ended there, I would agree with you.
Heidenreich did take a bad choke slam.
A very bad choke slam.
I'll admit that.
Hulk Hogan level.
We skipped the last match to see how long this felt for me, but I want you to be sure to ask me at the end of this.
By the way, how long did Edge and Shawn Michaels feel to you?
48 minutes.
Wow.
That's my answer. That's how long it felt for me.
Shawn Michaels and Edge?
Yep.
It only went 18:32.
Yep, felt like 48.
So I will say Heidenreich has some of the worst punches, and I think he connected with Taker on a few because then you could kind of see Taker start like hitting him back on the forehead a few times.
Yeah, just bopping him back, trying to calm him down.
So, Ruy, I have a question for you. What would you say Heidenreich does well?
Walk to the ring?
Disagree. Right. Disagree.
That's all I got. Literally walk to the ring.
JC, after Undertaker hit Tombstone, that's all she wrote. How long did that match feel to you?
So are we including the pre-match setup of the casket?
No.
No?
Just the match, bell to bell.
22 minutes.
Jesus.
Wow. I would said like 14.
It was a 13:20. Good guess, Ruy.
You're overshooting, man.
Well, I'm just telling you how it felt.
What?
for
What?
me.
I mean,
It
man.
did feel. I'm with JC. This is.
Yeah, but you also put Edge and Michaels in that same boat. Like, was it
It
that
wasn't
bad?
until the spear on the outside. Then it
Man.
picked up.
It took a while for them to click.
I just want to say, at WrestleMania, Undertaker would defend his streak, but it was not against Heidenreich,
against Randy Orton,
who would end up in the pre-show battle royal won by Booker T. Heidenreich was in the pre-show battle
and
royal.
was Snitsky not on the show at all?
He may have been the battle royal. Yeah.
Undertaker, real quick.
Best spear striker in the
No,
WWE.
he goes into the stairs and takes this awful bump where he lands on his head.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
go back and he tries to do the flip over the thing, but he barely gets over, and the cameras
You
don't
can say
show
that
it.
again.
Barely gets over.
My favorite straight Taz commentary in this match was Cole, someday you're going to be in a casket, and a lot of people are going to be happy, brother. Holy fuck.
That was back when joking about people's deaths was still cool.
Yeah, they were like, nope, this is never going to bite us in the ass.
Holy shit! So Snitsky and Heidenreich try to suplex the Undertaker.
Oh, man.
And Heidenreich just doesn't fall.
Yeah, he's like, nope.
He's like, yeah,
Hard pass.
And Undertaker almost like legitimately died again.
How many lives does that guy have?
9.
Well,
Is he a cat?
Yes.
Meow.
Ruby's like a cat.
Didn't you see at the WrestleMania where he put his gimmick all in the center of the ring? He also put his cat tail and ears.
That's true. I
Yeah.
remember that. His hat had little cat.
Yeah.
That's also what he did in his match with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Brock was beating him up. He's like, meow.
Hey, that's my defense mechanism. As learned in the fight before Christmas, our bonus zone.
Callback. So we get another segment where Eddie is being accused of stealing from Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And the
Amazing.
fucking goddamn funniest thing, Teddy Long goes, Eddie, give it back to him. He's like, what? He's like, give it back. we all know you have it. Give it back to him.
He has his hand out.
And Eddie Guerrero pulls out a wallet and gives her that son of a bitch.
My wallet.
I thought it was Teddy Long's, and then it being Flair's was even way better.
Oh my god! He's
Well, it was also a thick ass wallet.
huge old man
Humongous.
wallet.
And old man, your grandpa's wallet. Fucking, and Ric Flair at that point still didn't know that his wallet was taken at that point, which was great.
What a
too.
reveal!
Well, it took him to show the number for him to realize the number was
I
taken.
mean, we all knew what numbers they had, which was great.
What are the odds of the first two people that draw their numbers?
You know what? I don't give a fuck. That's what I love about. That's what I love about wrestling.
Well, yeah. If you can listen, if you commit to the bit, I'm fine with it. It can be,
And I really like Teddy Long and Eric Bischoff's banter all night,
right?
Going back and forth because they have to be there for the number drawing and everything.
So and again, I was not watching at the time, but Stephanie McMahon was originally like the general manager at some point, right?
Yeah.
And then Teddy Long took the job from her.
Yeah.
When did Kurt Angle be an evil Professor Xavier GM? Where
That was a little bit before this, where he was chokeslammed off of a parking garage,
right
by Big Show.
Okay.
And he was put in the garage. He was in a wheelchair.
He was in a wheelchair like Professor Xavier. His ball just rolling around in that chair.
And then Kurt Angle was revealed as being the masked luchador that was costing Eddie Guerrero his match.
Wow, man.
Really?
Yeah. It was a whole thing.
So crazy. All right.
SmackDown was a good thing back then.
Well, I mean, so I was really trailing off in 2002, and Heyman was originally the booker for SmackDown.
Yeah.
And who's I don't know who's doing Raw, but like SmackDown was definitely the superior.
Who's the current booker?
Stephanie McMahon?
No, who's the current booker for SmackDown?
Right now is Road Dogg.
Well, MahiMahigate.
Some of that MahiMahigate.
Oh.
Remember to get your cum guzzling MahiMahigate shirts now on 3-Way Theaters Public Store.
So after Rick and Eddie leave, the cameras are still rolling. John Cena strolls on in there. And then Christian in there, along with Tomko. And Christian's like, I could beat you in a rap battle anytime, any day of the week, John Cena. Tomko, give me a beat.
No.
That's amazing.
That was a meme for the longest time.
Longest time.
So
and that's how, again, I remembered us definitely watching this pay-per-view back then because we popped huge.
What a brilliant Tomko. No. It was just
Perfect.
It was just perfect. Just so good.
Being Christian straight man and just kind of going along with it.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that Cena's raps age well?
No.
Not in the way that they were like bad, but like the homophobic overtones.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, when we re-air them and get him kicked off Daddy's Home 3, it's going to
I love that series. Oh my god, at the end of Daddy's Home 1, when John Cena takes off his helmet and it's really John Cena.
That's the entire point of that movie.
And then the entire point of Daddy's Home 2 is to reveal at the end that it's really, and then you have to bleep this out because I don't want to really spoil it for everyone. It was fucking Sully Sullenberger. That's the big surprise.
You really just spoiled it?
Yep.
Daddy's Home 2 has been out for like 2 years.
Yep, I saw it in theaters.
If you haven't seen it yet, get on with it.
Spoiler for that. Sully Sullenberger at the very end. That's the last thing you're going to see. It's boom. That's the big surprise at the end of it.
To be clear, spoiler for Daddy's Home 1. The stepdad is John Cena at the very end.
Yeah, that's also a spoiler,
Yeah.
but even newer spoiler.
And spoiler for Daddy's Home 2.
Yes, they're really, and John Lithgow's divorced too.
Yeah,
that's a big reveal. You don't know that through the entire movie, and then
they go over in Daddy's Home.
Oh my god!
Here on the Daddy's Home podcast.
Daddy's sleeping on the couch tonight.
Don't wake Daddy.
I feel like the John Cena character, the rap. I'll try to bring this back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Try.
The rapping John Cena could not happen in 2018.
Wrapping Christmas presents like in Daddy's Home 2.
Yup, fact. Unwrapping
that's
love.
a big
in Daddy's
reveal.
Home too.
And then he gets found out at an improv group. That's when the big reveal happens.
So to answer your question, Mikey, yes, he would get a lot of heat on him for some of his comments that he was making. Yes.
100%.
Thanks.
It was funny though.
So
I'm surprised you weren't going to do the rap.
nah.
Is it because Bruce Pritchard already did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw,
Don't need to do it.
All right. Just checking.
fair enough.
It was great, and it was one of those
was.
things where, again, you had that hope upon hope that they're finally going to start pushing Christian.
Nope.
Christian
Nah.
his chance.
Just never happened.
Now, how long after this did Christian leave for TNA?
He didn't leave until October.
Of what year?
This 2005. So basically, he made it. Stop it. He made it through the draft where he actually got a triple threat match with Cena and Jericho.
Was that a steel
wow.
cage?
No, it was just a triple threat match
For the world title.
And it was also Jericho's last match.
That was also featured on the greatest world title matches of all time, like DVD I got way back.
Really?
It was like it was a timeline of all the matches, and that was one of them. It was
Really?
Yeah, it was a really weird choice to me.
That's very weird. He then got drafted to SmackDown, where he immediately started doing jobs to Batista and Booker T. And then he was actually working WWE without a contract and did all of his dates. And then his last show, I believe, was like a Taboo Tuesday,
Okay.
where he showed up even without a contract to be one of the potential, nominees that could be voted into the match.
Like an Intercontinental title match. or some
Exactly.
shit, yeah.
And he wasn't voted. And then I think he did one TV job the next night on SmackDown, and then he was
took
gone.
off.
Then he went to TNA. He debuted in November.
Christian Cage.
That was a huge
So
thing.
before we go to the next match, I just want to say I saw this and I had to take a picture of it. It honestly looks like Monster Mac is there behind Taz.
Holy freaking crap!
Right after.
I'm sure that is them.
That's hilarious.
That's
I mean, it's in California.
This is in
That's
California.
but
There's
like
two guys wearing Mil Mascara's mask.
friends of the show.
exact same mask as.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Is that a penis in Taz's mouth?
Gay
Fact-
Taz!
Oh, that's gay Taz.
Bah, 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 bah.
I actually wrote in my notes to remind myself to show that photo.
Man,
We'll,
is
we'll-
the WWE Taz song the same as the Roman Reigns music?
Yes,
Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da.
it is.
Oh.
So you want to be a thug superstar? Just another victim.
I will throw that picture up on throughwaytheater.com.
So next up, we got the triple threat title match, and you guys want a great storyline.
Yeah, tell us what it could be.
So this whole started with Team Angle tranquilizing and shaving the Big Show's head. They shot him with real tranquilizer. Well, maybe not real tranquilizer, but they shot him with real darts.
Yeah,
That was a real thing,
tranquilizers.
And then took pose with him as if he was a giant bear that
which
they
was
had just
hilarious.
shot, which was so good.
And they shaved him, and that started that whole feud.
But then,
The cabinet was JBL's group, who was the other heel faction.
The Basham Brothers.
No, they were part of. They were part of the cabinet. It was them. It was Orlando Jordan. It was Amy Weber.
Amy Weber!
Yes.
Woo! Ba-ba-ba-boom.
Friend of the show.
Yup.
She was on an episode of Saved by the Bell.
And she was also a softcore porn actress.
Really?
Nice.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for me.
And then we had Team Angle, which consisted of Kurt Angle, Luther Reigns, and Mark Jindrak.
Man, so I think it was when I saw Tomko with Christian, and then in this match, seeing all the extra secondary characters.
Do you remember before they did the drug testing? Do you remember? Just remember before drug testing?
yeah.
But man, fucking Jindrak?
Jindrak, the Bashams.
Luther Reigns.
Jindrak was the guy where I was like, how does a guy have like a look, can work in the ring and just nothing?
Well,
never can get over.
poor Mark Jindrak was originally slated for Batista's role
In Evolution. They had actually filmed
They have
promos
footage of
them getting on a helicopter, all the stuff.
doing the stuff in the Evolution promo
Yep.
with Mark Jindrak.
Yep.
So again,
They're lucky.
what happens?
They're lucky they didn't just keep that in the videos, like in Step by Step, where they had a recast
Yeah,
Mark.
right.
But in the original Step by Step TV opening, they still had original Mark.
So you could it was far enough away, so it didn't matter. Team Angle was feuding with Big Show. The Cabinet was the current heavyweight champion with JBL. Kurt Angle wanted the belt. Big Show was just beating up everyone. Amy Weber ended up flirting with Kurt Angle and said to meet her in the shower. But Big Show's close personal friend, Joy Giovanni, was actually in the shower. Yup.
So, what did Kurt Angle do?
Well, Big Show flipped out, and the next week, Amy Weber and Joy were supposed to have a match, and Joy didn't show up.
What?
Dun, dun, dun.
What happened to her?
Well, I can tell you, during JBL's Man of the Year award from the Florida Agricultural Board, Kurt Angle crashed it and popped into JBL's trunk, and Joy Giovanni was inside.
So, To recap, you've killed JC. To
Big
recap,
Show was so mad because JBL kidnapped Joy to get her out of the match with Amy Weber so Amy Weber could actually win the match.
but
It actually turned out and was revealed on WWE.com that it was Kurt Angle
all
the
along!
whole time that did it. So then, let me go on. So then, Kurt Angle was forced to apologize for kidnapping Joy by Teddy Long. And then Teddy Long declared open season on Kurt Angle because he was so upset because he played him. So after Kurt Angle apologized at the end of SmackDown, Big Show came out. Kurt Angle ran out of the ring and was about to leave. And then the cabinet came out. So the cabinet comes out of the ring to stop Kurt Angle from running away, you see. But then it turns out Kurt Angle was actually with the cabinet the whole time, and then they beat up the Big Show.
what?
I wish we could have recorded that entire story.
This?
But you see, the friendship was short-lived, as Orlando Jordan and the Basham brothers and Luther Reigns all had a match the next week. But then it didn't turn out as planned, and Luther Reigns punched Orlando Jordan in the face, and then the Bashams were upset, and Kurt Angle slapped on the Basham, and JBL said we should be fighting the Big Show and not each other.
I meant video recording because
And then, because they were arguing in the ring because of the tag team match, they had Teddy Long came out and said, I'm going to put you in a last man standing match against each other.
taking off his headphones.
So then they had a last man standing match against each other at the end of SmackDown. And then they both hit each other with a chair at the same time. And then they both, Kurt Angle got hit. He got kicked in the face with a chair. And then he hit JBL before he fell. And then they both fell down. And it was a double count out. And then the camera panned out. And Teddy Long was like, hey, that was a really good idea that you gave me to put him in a last man standing match. And the camera panned out even more, and a Big Show was standing next to him. It turned out it was his idea the whole time.
He sounded like Eric Cartman in most of that. I'm shocked he was able to get that many breaths in between all that.
Was awesome.
How many weeks of SmackDown was this?
Oh, it was over a month.
I thought it was like 1 or 2.
All right, I'm done. So I'm gonna get out of here.
Oh, you're packing it up?
Yeah, I'm done with this show.
You're done with the show.
Yeah, I think we've
Ruy,
Welcome aboard.
it's all yours, baby. You got that third mic.
He's got that peak.
That's right.
I own all these mics and actually the equipment too. So I'm gonna take.
We're gonna have you leave these here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep these.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you can go though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but these are part of my cabinet, and they're coming with me.
Oh, is that Amy Weber?
You're gonna put them in a bag and then put them in stuff them in the trunk.
Yup.
That is actually where they ought to.
Do you have an Amy Weber grill?
I do.
All right.
Well, everything you've just described is far more entertaining than the match that we cut.
I agree to disagree. I thought this was a pretty solid little triple threat match.
I didn't think it was too bad. I actually was wondering how long, because this was in the middle of JBL's year-long title reign.
Yep.
And people really hated this at the time. They were really upset by
for
this.
me, coming into this, not knowing what had just happened with JBL and all this amazing transformation that he made, I was blown away. And I couldn't believe it. And I thought it was amazing that JBL was this heel champion who was the gimmick that he was. And it blew me away, and I thought it was awesome.
And he kept walking away with the title at every turn
cause.
when everyone thought that he was not going to do it.
Yep.
So I don't know if you recall this because again, this total recall memory that I got while watching this match
Just wrestling
was our old ex-friend Doug was a huge JBL fan.
Yes, I
and
remember
would
that.
go around the bar doing the JBL horns. And I don't know if that accelerated my hatred of JBL, but it was just like.
I will say I was a fan of JBL's work at this time, like what Mikey was saying, because I actually remember since SmackDown was on Friday night, and I worked retail, and I was working Friday nights. It was very rare for me to see it.
Yeah.
But when I would, I loved the run that JBL was in. That's why I was in my mind. I wrote down a note of how far into the run was he? And then Michael Cole's like, oh, he's been champion for 7 months. I'm like, perfect.
And which he'll lose the title at WrestleMania to John Cena.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Spoiler alert.
So I just and I again, this was me getting back into watching it. The match to jump ahead to WrestleMania, but the match that Cena would eventually have, I think it was the rematch that he had with JBL. It was like a bull rope death match.
Was that
or
really
something
bloody?
Yeah. I feel like
he hit him with the car's muffler or some shit. And
yes. I kind of wish that was the WrestleMania match they would have had.
Yeah.
For Cena, because if you really think about it, and again, I think this goes to show how powerful Batista was. But Batista was the draw, And Cena's coronation was a little less than.
Yeah, that was the main event. It was just very lackluster.
I just really this whole thing leading up, and you have two big stars in Cena and Batista here, and the way that they had switched them with Cena going to Raw and Batista going to SmackDown after WrestleMania comes around, really just blew things up for both guys.
Yeah.
Batista became synonymous with SmackDown, and John Cena, I mean, to this day, is on Raw.
Yeah.
And SmackDown free agent.
Yeah.
Don't tell him what.
But this match, I thought was a pretty smart match. I love JBL was totally bumping around for Big Show at the beginning. Kurt Angle just took off.
So I think this must have been the first instant, because they made such a big deal about it, of the Big Show, like the big spear into the guardrail.
Yes, I made note of that, actually.
I actually called it the hug into the guardrail.
Yes.
Because it was more of a hug than
The crowd went fucking wild.
Crowd went
They
ape
did.
shit.
They do it so often now that they have the erector
lost
set
all
where they
meaning.
So
So then they put caution tape
Yes,
over it.
that was my favorite part of it.
But that's how you knew this was the first time it happened, because they made such a big deal about it, and then the caution tape made it look so like, oh man, this
they
is
have the camera already on the other side, ready to go. You can see the security people clearing their way, which is really cool to see, because they definitely go out of their way. And we've been to shows where you can see them way before something's going to happen. They're quartering stuff off. They're telling people you're going to go this way, follow this guy that way.
That makes sense.
You know, but you're right, it was new at the time, and it was good, and the crowd fucking loved it. The hug into the guardrail,
Hug
yeah.
through the guardrail.
And it's kind of how I feel about when they changed it from the tables to being this erector set table that just folds down, because when people were going through tables at the time, and obviously being ECW fans, it was like, oh man, tables. But then when they moved over to these play sets that the tables just fold, it's like it kind of takes the impact away. So seeing this for the first time, in the reaction that it got, and the atmosphere was.
It got a holy shit chant, which I laughed at the time
because it was so simple.
Because we see it so much today,
and nobody cares.
Right?
It's just the same old shit.
It shows you when you bastardize something and you show it to the people over and over again, it loses that effect.
Well, even like we talked earlier with the spot with Kane and Snitsky with the choke slam off the stage.
Yeah.
At that time, the stage was still really high.
Yes.
Nowadays, the stage that you can just
even
walk
do it,
off the side, really.
Yeah. Well, and people do just kind of.
You just can't do any big spots off there anymore. So maybe if they go back to that eventually, maybe they build up another stage.
But you have to think, Kane and Snitsky did that, and they were fucking, and that was the end of Raw or whatever. But do you remember how serious Cactus Jack and Terry Funks was taken when they were carted out? Granted, they did come back at the end of the episode, but still.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the WWE, we talked about this during WrestleMania Act 7, when they kept on showing the replays of Triple H getting chokeslammed off onto the mattresses.
Onto the mats.
If they just kept the one camera angle, just show the one fucking angle.
Talk about diminishing returns.
Yeah, because even that in that Cactus in Funk dumpster, they replayed the footage, and then you have the packing peanuts all over the place, and then you look at the entrance, and it's like, oh, it's only a couple feet off. It's just one of those things where if they just kept it that one angle,
it's the illusion. You need to keep the magic,
right?
And I think that's the part.
But they've got so many cameras. They got cameras everywhere. I did like how when they would show a replay, they would show different angles from what you saw originally,
but
which I thought was cool.
Spot that needs a certain angle, and you have so many angles. Why why ruin it by showing it from all those different angles? Keep the one for this instance.
It's true. It's damn true. All the different angles. Kurt, all of them.
So was everybody's spot of the match the spear, or as I like to call it, the hug through the barricade?
The hug was my spot.
No,
my spot of the match was the Big Show gave Kurt Angle a spear while he was holding, or he gave him a flapjack while he was holding a chair.
Yes.
And I thought that was really fucking cool. I thought that was really really neat spot. And Kurt just ate the chair, so that was pretty brutal.
Machine.
My my favorite spot is Kurt countering the clothesline from hell into a German suplex on JBL.
Yes, when he was fighting the German, fighting the German.
Fighting it the whole match, and then fucking got it, which that was
really
spot.
great. Yeah, I thought that was really good. Clothesline from hell on Kurt Angle gets the win, and surprises everyone again, because Team Angle was out there, fucking the Cabinet was out there, everyone was out there, and JC, how long did that match feel to you?
I'm gonna go with 12 minutes.
12 minutes and 4 seconds.
Holy man! After overshooting it, he gets it right on the head.
Again, I wasn't overshooting it. I was just letting you know how I felt.
So
I clearly was being over the top in my estimation of HBK.
To let you guys know where everyone was at WrestleMania at this point, like at this upcoming year, Kurt Angle would beat Shawn Michaels in a nearly 5-star match.
Spoiler for later on in the Rumble.
The match got 4 3/4 stars. Oh, so close.
I do, because again, we had talked about it in the fight before Christmas, but I had gone to the Raw where Batista turned and officially made the match for WrestleMania, and so I started watching religiously at that point. I was watching every Raw. I was getting back into it, and the build for Angle and HBK was one of the coolest builds that they had, because they brought Marty Jannetty back. Sensational Sherry was there.
Great. The Sensational Sherry angle was great. The Marty Jannetty thing was really cool.
Is that when Kurt Angle came out to Shawn Michaels' music? Yeah.
Dressed as Shawn Michaels.
Just
doing the
sexy
dance and
Kurt.
everything. Yeah.
I'll make your ankle hurt. Ankle hurt.
So good.
The build was because again, this was the interpromotional thing, so they were
because both guys were. One guy was on SmackDown, one guy was on
Raw. You know what
Raw.
was really great about that? On the Raw, Kurt Angle called out Marty Jannetty because Marty Jannetty would not say that Shawn Michaels sucked. He stood up for Shawn, so he got attacked by Kurt Angle. So they made a match the next week on SmackDown, Kurt Angle versus Marty Jannetty. But on the Raw before that, it was Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty versus La Resistance and the Rockers reunion.
They did all their rocker spots.
Yeah, they did their double pose on the ropes, and that was fantastic.
Marty refused to say that Shawn Michaels sucked, but he did say that he would fuck his daughter if it turned out it wasn't his daughter.
Yeah, yeah, that's not wrong.
And it turns out it ain't even his kid, so now they can fuck.
So what does it matter? The woman that he raised as a child, like as his own.
But they're not blood anymore, so they can get to fucking.
JBL would lose the title to John Cena. And Big Show took on Aki Bono in a sumo wrestling match that year. That's where he was.
The diaper.
In the big diaper.
Gross. So they called him. That was his nickname, Big Diaper.
Yep. So they call me Big Diaper Jake.
That's why they call you that?
Yeah, that's
BDJ. In the house.
Carlito and Batista have a little meeting backstage.
Yeah,
this was fun.
This was cute.
Yeah, Carlito was trying to get Teddy Long to be banned from being the SmackDown general manager.
Yeah,
He's legit injured?
Yeah, he was actually hurt.
Yeah,
and a good way to keep him on TV was to be always in these segments passing around this petition to get Teddy Long removed as the general manager of SmackDown.
This is coming off his big feud with John Cena and Jesus during the stabbing angle.
Yes.
Wait, Zeus was there?
Jesus.
Oh, I thought you were saying hey to Zeus.
Hey Zeus. Don't make
Shut
it.
up, shut up. I wanted to do another one.
Below the budget for the year.
Aaron Jesus Aguilera, as you may remember from the movie Slammed.
Sure do.
And him and Carlito, he had already been he was already no longer
he's the one that
Carlito's
stabbed
henchman.
Cena in the
nightclub. He was originally supposed to be New Jack, but New Jack they said was too much of a
stab somebody in the club.
Imagine how Buddy Christ's life would be had New Jack been the guy to stab him in the club.
Stab John Cena. That would have been great.
No, I meant stab Buddy Christ in the club.
Oh yeah,
you do not want to cross it.
That would have made and ended his life.
This also proves that how strong they keep Batista too, because even in this what should be a funny segment, Batista just literally stares Carlito down.
When he took a bite of the apple.
Yes.
And he swallowed it because he didn't realize.
And they made a big deal of gulp.
That's how
exactly.
Cool Batista.
Right.
Like he got to do everything
Batista's
the right way.
Hey, I'm gonna jam that clipboard up your pee hole.
I hated Batista after that. It's like
Batista.
And then we get a steady cam shot follows Batista into the offices of the Royal Rumble.
They don't normally do long tracking shots like that.
Yeah,
right? But that's actually what I loved, and I wish they would do that more now, where it has that fluid motion of like, okay, this is one segment, and now it's leading. It's kind of reminds of ECW. like where it just leads to the next, even if it's backstage, just kind of following it from one thing to the other.
Something else happens to be happening over here.
It makes the world feel bigger in like the backstage world where everybody's kind of like with each other. That's why I think we all like the Bischoff and Teddy Long segments with the Rumbles, because they're interacting with each other that never interact with each other.
That was so good. I thought it was really fun. All the segments were really fun. And Batista, because of the last match with all the interference, Teddy Long was like, nice world title, or everybody was like, nice world title match you got there, Teddy Long. He's like, yeah, like there's not going to be interference in your match with Evolution. He goes, you know what? Evolution's banned from ringside. And Batista, he looks at Batista like, should I tell him or should you? Batista's like, I'll tell him.
He's like, I can't wait to tell him.
Because that kind of plays off earlier where they did a segment with Evolution where Batista went to go get his number.
And he's like, no, we have to do this now.
We got to talk over the match now.
Yep.
We can talk about it after I get my number.
No. And did you take that as like Triple H trying to have all the good numbers taken, and so Batista couldn't have would have maybe not as good of a number,
like fewer chances to get a decent number. That makes sense. I never thought of it that way. I just thought he was being a dick to him.
That
to prove that he was the boss.
This the lead up to this turn also had one of my favorite moments where in Oklahoma they had Danny Hodge come in when he was in his 80s. And they were like, yeah, let's have Danny Hodge come up. And he got in there. He, like, jumped over the top rope. He was all spry and, like, limber. And he's a wrestling legend from back in the day. In amateur wrestling, the Danny Hodge Award is, like, a famous award. And they end up jumping Danny Hodge and beating him up. Yeah. And that was before Batista hadn't made it to the building yet.
So, like, Triple H was like, oh, Danny Hodge telling Jim Ross that he's a good guy. That's like shit telling puke that it smells good. It's like, holy shit.
Wow.
It was just Flair and Triple H.
And then they got to the back, and Batista showed up, and they're like, oh, Dave, you missed it. We beat up Danny Hodge. He's like 90 years old. Just like says it to himself.
Cool Batista.
As like Triple H and Flair are like bragging about it, and he's like disgusted. Oh, what a great angle. And speaking,
it's so good. This is the second time we've told that story in a month.
Speaking of not great angles, we have Triple H and Randy Orton. So
they should have always made him horny.
He's so Randy.
He's so Randy, baby. Yeah.
I felt like Randy Orton was just a cog in the machine.
You know what? I've never really felt bad for Orton, but he really got fucked.
Leading up to this match, also in the Elimination Chamber, it was Batista, Randy Orton, and Triple H were the final three. And Randy Orton eliminated Batista, and they had this great segment where Randy Orton said, hey, Triple H, why don't you, I have some video that Dave might be interested to see.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, nothing. He's like, no, let him play the video. So Randy Orton plays the video, and it's Randy Orton pinning Batista. Triple H stands up in the corner, and then he falls back down.
He stands up like he's going to break up the count, and then he's like, oh, no, I should just let this happen.
And Triple H...
great.
That was such a small, smart thing. Mm-hmm. And Triple H like, no, I was bleeding. My legs gave out on me. I tried. You see that I tried. I got up, but I just couldn't. I mean,
knowing
going.
Triple H's history of his quads and his legs, I believe
he's not wrong.
Totally could have happened.
Triple H ended up winning, and then Randy Orton was like, oh, yeah, you said you were tired, but look at this. He had Batista pick him up on his shoulders, and Triple H was celebrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match...
Yeah.
Never good.
So I just to kind of sidebar this, I kind of wrote this down as I was watching this. Do you feel like someone like Earl Hebner should be in the Hall of Fame? Do you think they should bring in referees into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, but
do I think Earl Hebner specifically should be in the Hall of Fame?
Because Hebner's not going to be that guy.
Hebner would be the only referee that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Little Nate, I'll give it to him.
Little Nate, I agree
I'll
with.
Little Nate in there.
Earl Hebner has been part of iconic moments.
That's more of I think
the
of him
twin
in big
Hebner
matches.
spot.
Well, here's
all
the
that
thing.
shit.
I can see Vince inducting Dave. I do not see him inducting Earl.
But then it turns out that Earl was on stage the whole time accepting
It
it.
turns out it was Earl, yeah.
They switched.
And then EC3 comes out and they do a match.
Just out of curiosity, what'd you guys think of this match?
Did not like.
This was a very slow plotting heat on Randy Orton.
And they did a concussion angle. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Randy Orton went for DDT. Triple H held on to the ropes, and Randy Orton slammed his head into the ropes and just rolled out of the ring, and the match came to a screeching halt. Slower than it already was. The match just came to a fucking end. It was Triple H. There was a ref bump. Triple H never cheated. Triple H fucking beat Randy Orton clean in the goddamn fucking ring.
Now, this leading up to this concussion spot, Randy Orton's punching Triple H in the corner, and it looks like Triple H is out on his feet.
Oh,
he keeps.
There was a great line when who was on commentary? It was
King and JR.
Oh yeah, Jerry Lawler goes, "Come on, this isn't boxing," because Randy Orton was hitting fucking Triple H with all these punches, body and head. And Jim Ross said, "Yeah, if this was boxing, the match would be over. Triple H isn't defending himself." So that was like a cool little. I like that spot. I like that call at least. That's my spot of the match. That call.
I don't think I even wrote down a spot in this match because it was really tough.
Was the RKO reversal where he pushes Randy over the top rope.
Me too.
To the outside.
Yeah.
Which was what a minute into the match, a minute or two.
Yeah, because he kept going for the fucking RKO at the very beginning.
Are there two other wrestlers that have worked each other so many times and just have anti-chemistry?
Lumberjake and Mike Pave.
But revisionist history in WWE will tell you
that's
that
a legendary
this
feud.
is a legendary feud between these guys.
It's looking back on it and being like like you think, oh, Randy and Triple H should be good.
Well, because even when Randy got hot as a heel, they did their WrestleMania main event, and that
was still flopped.
boring as fuck.
And was that the house?
Yeah, that's when he broke into the house.
Yeah.
That was the Triple H threw him through a window.
He kicked. Did he kick Stephanie too?
Yeah,
he
the
punched
punt.
Stephanie.
No. He kissed Stephanie. He
I think
punted Vince.
I think he RKO'd Stephanie and then kissed her.
Yes, because
because
wasn't that the
Triple H
draping
was
DDT? He hit Stephanie with the draping DDT.
That's right.
While Triple H was handcuffed to the ropes.
Handcuffed to the ropes. Yep. I was just saying, we're all talking about how Randy Orton got screwed, and man, poor Randy Orton, but it really worked out for him in the end. Didn't it?
Sure.
I mean,
he's like a 14-time champion.
Oh
I
yeah,
think he's good.
he worked out just fine. But I think Triple H. Do you think he does this on purpose? Because by the end of this match, the most hated man in the world, Triple H, is getting a huge babyface pop.
I said that. I wrote this down. Randy Orton is like Roman Reigns in this fucking match.
Yes.
He is the babyface getting buried, and he got people to cheer Triple fucking H. In 2000 and fucking. This is during his reign of terror.
Reign of terror. This is 20-minute
from 2003 to 2005.
Yep.
Before his babyface turn.
And that couldn't even. He couldn't
because
even get over.
you don't count because he did a couple. Like obviously they traded the title with Shawn, and then Benoit got his 4 or 5 months with the belt. But it was all pretty much based around Triple H.
Do you feel that this match was very Triple H-ish? Like the setup to it?
That's what I'm saying. He plotted this match out.
This was a sabotage.
Yeah. Because you're right. It's the Roman Reigns thing.
But why go from sabotaging Randy Orton to having a stellar, fantastic feud with Batista? Why
wasn't
couldn't
Batista though his workout buddy? That was like the rumor back then. They were friends.
But Orton was groomed to be this guy.
But that was the thing, though. Triple H is the guy, so he doesn't want somebody else to take that mantle from him.
I don't think that's how it went.
I do agree with the fact that I think the way he's playing it is that Triple H is threatened by Orton because Orton and Triple H have a lot of similarities. He looks at somebody like Batista and sees, okay, he's a big powerhouse guy.
A little bit older.
Yeah, and he's probably got a couple years. But Orton, this young kid could be, I just think he looks at Orton as kind of like a contemporary that would kind of usurp him. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I think it goes to more of what Lumberjake said earlier, where you have a heel being dumped by heels and not being able to do anything that makes him a babyface.
He didn't dump them; they dumped him.
Right.
That cuts him down.
So that's Triple H's call. That's what I'm saying. These are all done.
It was. Come on now.
I think it's a sabotage.
Triple H pushes for it.
They the thumbs up angle with Randy Orton on the shoulders and then thumbs down, and he dumps him. And then Batista giving the thumbs up to Triple H and then the thumbs down when he attacks him. Randy Orton was a piece of the fucking puzzle to make Batista over, not himself.
I think that was I think that was after. I think that was an afterthought, whereas they definitely didn't plan it that way.
I don't think they
planned it that way.
But that's what I'm saying. They hadn't. I feel like.
But I don't think it was the mean Triple H holding Orton down.
I do.
I
I could see it. This is like Cena in the Nexus. where like
that was rough.
Yeah, but
or
it's
even
that
Edge
thing.
and was it Edge and Jericho that wanted to put over the Nexus at that time during their big 10-on-10 match?
Yeah, and they wouldn't.
And Cena wouldn't.
Triple H pins Randy Orton clean in the middle of the fucking ring with a pedigree. JC, how long did that match feel to you?
Hold on. With the pedigree, before the pedigree, just a fucking clothesline, which
he was concussed though.
Which played into the fact that Randy Orton had a concussion. It was such a brutal fucking clothesline that was basically the finish.
Yeah.
The pedigree was just the fucking, I'm going to hit my finish.
We don't like people of his kind winning belts.
Ooh.
What?
Second generation superstars.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He's actually third.
Oh.
That's true.
Why, when one wrestler has another wrestler in a figure four and they try to reverse it, do both their arms go up in the air?
Because
is it a balance thing? Are you
Yes.
trying to get leverage?
Yeah, but you'd think the other guy would just kind of just lie back with it.
one should be pushing the other way while one's going.
But no,
this
they're
way.
both going the same
the same
way.
way.
It's so silly.
It's the same reason that reversing, like flipping the figure four over, reverses the pressure on the figure 4.
Mm-hmm.
JC, how long did that match feel to you?
98 minutes.
Yeah, if I go by the way I was talking earlier, I will be conservative, and I will say 23 minutes.
21-28.
Nice. It felt like
21 minutes.
It felt like a good half hour going into like the 35. Like it was brutal.
So next up we have the actual Royal Rumble
Yeah.
Oh, right.
match.
Howard Finkel doing
Thank
the
God,
announcements,
Yes.
Yeah.
which was
Didn't-
awesome.
Didn't Howard also start the show?
He might have.
Announcing, because I actually wrote that down that
He
Howard
might've.
Finkel was announcing the beginning of the show.
He
I was
possibly
too
could
busy
have.
marking out for Hugo Savinovich and Carlos Cabrera.
Yeah.
Of course.
Entry number 1, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
I could
so
see
good.
while he was trying to
TCL.
steal.
Of course, and
It makes sense.
And as soon as Eddie comes out, you know who's going to be number 30, and it's telegraphed, and you know it's going to happen, but it feels good when it
I
happens.
actually forgot when Flair came out at 30.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
They only had 5 segments on it about the show.
Number 2 is Chris Benoit.
What?
Now, going through the notes from the Wrestling Observer, holy shit, was he coming in his pants for this? Benoit and fucking Eddie opening the fucking I hope these guys, they give them fucking 15 minutes before the next guy comes out.
Benoit fucking was the number 1 entrant last
Well,
year,
that's
and
what I
he
was gonna
went
ask.
the
Yes.
distance.
So he went coast to coast, as they say, and he won that. So he eliminated Big Show. Was that in the last?
I believe
in
that
the
was-
last one, yeah.
And they both closed out WrestleMania 20 with their respective championships.
Yes.
And
So
then
coming
hugging
in,
in the ring after.
right, and then definitely not dying or murdering their
Yeah.
significant
No,
others.
no.
Years
Of course
later.
not.
So coming into this one, so Meltzer was all about it, having these,
yeah.
these guys come in here.
I mean, it's a work rate's wet dream right here.
I just didn't think if they looked at it as a demotion compared to where they were the previous
he was
year.
pumped.
I think they assumed they would be the Iron Men again and be in the match for most of the time. Because when I saw them start, I was like, oh, these guys will be in. I actually assumed one of them would be in the Final Four. When Eddie later in the match got eliminated, I was actually shocked at how it wasn't like a bigger deal having Eddie eliminated.
Well, I have a feeling Jake's going to be really excited about this next entrant.
I sure am.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Mr. Daniel Pewter.
Never heard of
Man,
Daniel Pewter, winner of the $1 Million Tough Enough.
you know nothing about Daniel Pewter.
nothing.
Well, Roy, I'll tell you right now, he eventually dyed his hair and changed his name to Daniel Bryan.
Genius.
No. Daniel Pewter was the winner of the $1 Million Tough Enough challenge, and he, by the right of winning, became the entrant of the Royal Rumble. Daniel Pewter outlasted other members of the Tough Enough cast, such as Ryback that year, Nick Mitchell, who later on became Mitch of the Spirit Squad.
Aw.
And then there was a man by the name of Mike Mizanin.
Never heard of him.
Send me
Who'd
a
he
tape.
beat?
He beat John Cena at the main event of WrestleMania several years later. Also tried out for this was Marty Wright, who was the boogeyman.
He lied about his age, right?
Who absolutely lied about his age and refused to come clean about it. Where they said, Marty, how old are you? He goes, 30 years old. He was like, how old are you? 30 years old. what does your driver's license say? 30 years old. If you go out and get it, what is it going to say? 30 years old. He went out and got it, and they said, what's your date of birth? He goes, 1968. I am 40 years old.
Which he looks phenomenal for a guy his
He
age.
sure did. And they said that to him. They said,
Phenomenal.
we would have respected you more if you said you were 40 and you came out running like that,
Right.
looking like that.
But they still respected him anyway.
Yeah.
And also, that the another person that tried out for that was Luke Gallows, who tried out for that, and he had the infamous moment where his pants fell down while he was running the obstacle course, and they wouldn't let him pull them back up.
At a beach,
At a
where
public
there's
beach.
people around, his little ding-dongs just hanging out everywhere.
Well,
His little Luke Gallows.
he can say that because Al Snow said, well, I guess we don't need you to teach you the small package because you already have one.
Is this on the air?
Yes.
No one was watching it.
These two were.
I was.
Well, that doesn't say much.
So, wouldn't you have it? Daniel Peter cuts a little brief promo, and
Well, so help me out here because I do know that there was another big moment in Tough Enough, right? Where he wrestled Kurt Angle.
there was a after a squat thrust competition. Let me even go further with this. Before the SmackDown started, they had all the men running wind sprints, and they had them eating fettuccine Alfredo by
Yes.
the bowlful,
Right.
trying to blow them up, trying to get them gassed, and try to make them sick. So they had them running wind sprints. Daniel Puder was not run; he was jogging them, and he wasn't eating his food. He was just kind of he wasn't doing it. He wasn't letting him, and like nobody was really calling him out. Bruce Pritchard tried to get him to do it, but he just wasn't doing it. So by the time they got to the ring, they were doing the squat thrust competition. Another guy won, Chris Naraki, and Kurt Angle made them do it. And he said, "You want a match with Kurt Angle right now?" And Kurt Angle just took him down, broke fucking the kid's ribs, and pinned him in the
Legit?
ring. Legitimately broke the kid's ribs. Wow. He said, "Anyone else want a piece of me?" Daniel Peter raised his hand.
Smart.
Daniel Peter gets in the ring. They have a brief little shoot match. During the match, Kurt Angle takes down Peter, but Peter puts him in a fucking Kimura armbar. He has it fully locked in with his arm fully extended
Ready to
behind his
break his
back,
fucking
ready to
arm.
break. Luckily, the referee, Jimmy Corderas, thinking quickly, counted Daniel Peter's arms down because he was flat on his back.
Smart.
Peter tried to get his shoulder up at 3, but it didn't really matter because amateur wrestling only has a 1 count anyway. But, Jimmy Corderas was doing the best he could. He was seconds away from breaking Kurt Angle's arm on live TV, and Kurt Angle would not tap out.
Explains why they beat
Yes,
the hell
it
out of him
does.
for good, what would be 7 minutes, I would say?
And I think you mean Hall of Famer Jimmy Corderas. Future.
The only referee that deserves, in my opinion.
I'd say Tim White.
Timmy White.
Timmy White.
Friendly tap.
That's not wise.
That's not wise, sir.
Yeah, so that happened, and so that was during Tough Enough.
That was the second week of Tough Enough.
Second week, okay.
Kurt Angle, by the way, was legitimately pissed at Daniel Puder for even
He was
attempting.
furious. He said that was a wrestling match. They're not supposed to be submissions. He was so mad.
You can't do submissions in wrestling matches?
Not in like
Not
amateur.
in amateur wrestling.
The first week of Tough Enough, they were kicked out of the locker room by Big Show, and Big Show tossed Daniel Peter across the fucking locker. He shoved him, and he legitimately threw him out of the locker room, on camera. But he legitimately did it.
They would treat him just like a regular Carmella.
So,
Cum guzzling
out
bitch.
of all the
Peter won more contests than anyone on Tough Enough.
and it was fan voting, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way he would have won.
He also won the Tori Wilson sex test, where he had to make out with Mae Young, and he won a lap dance from Mae Young.
I would have lost that one.
During a capture the flag contest against the Basham brothers, he made it the closest to capturing the flag. And he also won an entire arm wrestling contest against Ryback and then Justice Smith, who was another large guy who ended up becoming an American Gladiator.
We mentioned Maven earlier, and how many Tough Enoughs were there? Because I was going to ask, who is the most
together?
Like,
6
who's
or
the most?
7?
Who's the most successful?
The Miz.
No, you didn't.
That
let me
wins?
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was going to say.
Maven.
Who's the
Maven.
So Maven is the biggest.
Yeah.
He
What about
actually did
Jackie
something on-
Gayata?
Jackie Gata won her season. There was
Did she?
Yep.
Oof.
Her and Linda Miles.
Must have been a rough season.
That was Shaniqua, right?
Yeah, Linda Miles was Shaniqua, the manager of the Basham brothers. There's the winners haven't really fared all that well. I'm trying to think. There was the $1 million one was the fourth one, and then it was gone for a bit, and then they revived it. So I'm going to say it was 5 seasons
And
altogether.
none of those, and the ones from the Austin seasons, none of them made it, right? Like the actual
two
winners.
winners.
Luke
No.
Roberts and Silent Rage.
Did Luke Robert win?
He was
No,
he was
he
a
was a runner-up.
finalist. Yeah.
Silent Rage guy won, and he got stunned by Austin on Raw after saying that he won.
Yep.
And then was
that
never
was
seen
it.
on TV again.
Yep.
True.
I mean, if I'm going to go out once, I'm going to take the Stunner.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then leave.
I'd say
I'd
Maven
be
was
fine
probably
with
definitely the
Definitely.
most successful.
Cool.
Now, the funny thing is, people being in Tough Enough, there's plenty of other people that did.
Right.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
it's
absolutely.
kind of like the American Idol thing, where being the runner-up for a while was
Yeah.
better than being the winner.
The Miz is the only tough enough contestant ever to main event a WrestleMania, win a world title, all that sort of stuff.
Until
So
Mandy
far.
Rose wins a world title.
But one
Hey,
thing
might
nobody,
happen.
one thing nobody can take away: Joy Giovanni was the very first SmackDown Divas Rookie Award winner.
Oh.
Yeah, so there, have that.
Goddamn Joy G. You love Joy Giovanni, huh?
She was from Boston.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Beat down?
Yeah, sure was.
Can I ask you a quick side?
A side of
kinda wrote
calzone?
This. I wish I had a side of calzone right now.
He
I
wouldn't
am
be
so hungry.
He wouldn't be sharing that with us if it
Not
was.
a chance. Benoit, should he be in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay, that's hard pass. So next,
I think
in
it's
the
a,
Royal
yeah.
Rumble after Daniel Peter.
What a great world it would be if he could be in the Hall of Fame, but it's not going to happen.
I still like. There's still people on social media that like
Think he didn't do it? Didn't?
think he didn't do it. Keep on praising him for his work, which is fine. If you want to watch his matches, go for it. I have no.
We watched a match with him.
Yeah, he's all over the network. It's fine. Do what you. But to go on there and be like, oh yeah, but he's the best wrestler of all time. It doesn't matter that he murdered his wife and
Okay,
child.
how about this? I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I do think his name should be used when they're listing matches on the fucking network.
I agree.
Like
that, I agree with.
That's it's a thing that happened.
You
it's a
can't
thing that
erase
happened.
history, and I don't think you should. So I mean, having that on there, yeah, absolutely.
It's just frustrating.
I just see there's a certain subsection of fans that are obsessed with this, and you're right, Mikey, where there's still those conspiracy theorists that are out there and being like, they didn't prove it. They didn't prove it to me.
Now, speaking of modern day thoughts on things of then, what do you think the world would think if they did this to Daniel Pewter now?
I
If
thought
they
about
just
that.
started chopping the bejesus out of him, and then do you think they intentionally put Hardcore Holly in at number 3?
Yes!
My favorite part is I think it was Jim Ross that goes, Hardcore Holly hates rookies. Like, actually said it in the commentary.
Yep.
When I saw him coming out, I was like, oh, he's fucked.
And
Like,
he
this is
was.
bad. They beat the hell. This is honestly, if you had to nickname this battle, if you had to nickname the Royal Rumble, it was the Chop Battle, like the Chop Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero and fucking Benoit just got so excited they start chopping everyone.
Well, yeah.
The poor Hurricane comes in next.
That's exactly what happened. They forgot that they already eliminated Pewter. Like, oh, another guy. Boom,
You're
boom.
the bird now.
So the way Daniel was called when they announced him, it was Daniel the Bird Pewter.
The Hurricane came in, they're like, it's a bird.
Oh no!
And Hurricane's like, it's a plane. They're like, nope.
It's a chop.
Yeah, this is the first time and only time Hardcore Holly got any heat because even the fans knew what he was there.
They knew
for.
it was coming. And then as soon as fucking Pewter's out after getting the shit chopped out of him and kicked in the balls, Hardcore Holly's immediately out right after.
He did his job.
I feel like it took a while for the next person to come out. I feel like
they stretched.
they stretched that one out.
There was points where I started like actually timing the differences, and it was under 2 minutes every time.
Was it
But
supposed
that-
to be 2 or was it a minute 30?
It might have been 90 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
But for that segment with
Yeah.
Pewter,
Oh, they killed him.
So,
I will say they didn't break. Like, you didn't
Blood
see
vessels
the
or
blood
anything.
vessels. You didn't see like
But
the
then you-
raised handprint. So I
but
was
then-
kind of disappointed in them.
You heard so many quiet ones that you knew hurt so bad.
yeah,
though.
because when he by the third or fourth one, he's shying away.
100%.
He's fucking hitting the deck as soon as he gets chopped,
I
hoping
love
they
it
don't
that they
pick him out and
eventually
do it
just
again.
pulled his arms behind his
Yeah.
back so that they could just light him up without him doing anything to defend himself.
And he does a great little sucker spot when he like it looks like he's hugging Benoit, but then he goes to toss him over the top
Yeah,
rope.
yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
kind of touching on what you were saying, Mikey, in today's performance center environment, these new trainees that are coming into this world, they just debuted the UK performance center in England.
Yes.
It's not the same
It's
as
not what it used to be.
Who is the humorist there?
Bill DeMott.
Bill DeMott was the head trainer, and there's many stories that have come out over the years.
Heckling the rookies.
Heckling them, Jekylling them.
Nailed it.
You mentioned the bird earlier, as Daniel Peters. That's a term that isn't even used nowadays.
No.
When there are battle royals, it doesn't happen. Where
The
there's
only time there's a bird in the Battle Royal is if Coco Beware's book.
who Birdman. Yeah, but there would always be a bird in a battle royal, and all the vets would just.
Did you ever have to be the bird, Mike?
I never got to be the
No,
bird.
you
Nope.
Never got to be the bird.
Pick me. Never let me. Pick me.
Hey guys, can I be the bird tonight?
Get out of here, Mikey. You're too small.
Yeah, we don't want to make it.
No, we like you. Just tussle his
They
hair.
tussle my hair,
So
and I get thrown
I
out.
actually remember training. Our trainers thought it'd be a good idea to do a
You know,
chop
because your
fest.
trainer doesn't remember you.
Not at all. That has no idea who I was. Like a chop fest battle royal where it was just people chopping each other.
I hate
the
it.
entire time.
I hate
My
chops
trainer-
at practice.
My trainer wouldn't allow chops at practice.
Do you know
Your
who his
trainer,
trainer
Mike
was?
He sure was.
Me.
He wouldn't let people chop. He said no more chop because before Mikey was there, it was a lot of chops. People love chopping each
Fucking
other.
stop it.
Which is silly.
Knock it off.
in
So
a
we're all
training-
in agreement that it's for the better now that we've
Yeah.
evolved from that.
So I will say I kind of the way that these guys get trained, I think that there is a little I kind of miss having a little bit of like pushing them to a limit. I think like back where we were doing puke drills and they were legitimately trying to make us throw up, where it seems insane nowadays, but like I think back to, you know, hitting my head, possibly getting a concussion in matches, but being able to continue because I had those drills where I'm rolling around to the point of being dizzy, getting up and taking bumps and bump and bump and then jumping and bumping.
I would, however, do those drills.
Oh my god,
Those were the worst.
More
drills.
forward rolls.
I think
the
those
promoter
are
look.
beneficial.
so many
Right.
forward rolls.
Well, that's kind of the same thing where they're doing the squat drills and they're eating the pasta. Like that's fine. Like that's fine. But like,
Jake's like, why didn't I get pasta?
yeah,
No one's
I want
eating
some
Jake.
fettuccine Alfredo.
He hasn't done a single squat, but he's ate 17 bowls of pasta.
You're ready to get in the ring.
Number 6 out to the ring is Kenzo Suzuki.
I was so disappointed because I thought this was Tajiri.
No, it's
Is-
Kenzo
I actually thought
Suzuki.
that
Only
too.
to find out that Tajiri had lost a qualifying match to Viscera the week before.
In an over-the-top rope challenge.
In an over the top rope challenge. So no, yeah. Kenzo Suzuki.
Who is this?
It's kind of Suzuki.
Kenzo Suzuki
Okay.
and his wife Hiroko debuted for in WWE in 2005. He was a Japanese
So
warrior.
he just debuted.
No, I mean, excuse me, it was mid 2004, like
I was gonna say, this
summer
was his-
2004.
Oh man, I was gonna say if this was his debut. I'm like, holy fuck.
And yeah, he was feuding with John Cena at the time. In fact, a couple weeks prior, he had a rap battle with John Cena where he was
What?
dressed up as Uncle Sam,
Why didn't you send us that clip?
and he had an angle where he had a wandering eye, where he liked Tori, not like a lazy eye, a wandering eye,
Oh.
where he had a thing for Tori Wilson,
Oh.
and his wife was very jealous about it, saying, You don't ever look at me. And I'm not going to say how they said it because it was in terrible English.
Well, maybe Mikey should do it then because he's the notorious racist.
Why am I? How am I the racist?
WTFO, Mike Piv is a racist.
Remember Oh My Zombie Mermaid where you kept on talking about the gobbledygook?
Gobbledygooker.
Whoa!
What?
What did you call Hiroko?
Why would you call Haruko that?
That's what his name. That's the gobbledygooker's name. What?
It
We would
is-
just like to apologize to all the people
I
listening right
don't
now.
understand.
Well, Ruy, welcome to the show. You're going to have to take over because Mike Pava needs to take some time off and
Leave a
self-reflect.
He's going to have to put his apology
You know
letter
what?
on
I
Twitter.
didn't mind you jerking off in front of me all the time, but calling Haruko the gobbledygook. Yo.
That's really
Yeah.
Wow.
She also said the line, why do you look at her? My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
She did not say
Yes.
It was topical.
She
It was topical
did.
at the
that.
time,
I understand that it's topical, but
which is very rare.
is Haruko a worker?
She was the wife of
Like the legitimate wife?
the actual wife. She was the valet.
She got that Sable contract.
I don't think I ever saw her like actually wrestle outside of like a Divas like bra and panties match. So
Okay.
I can't say for
Also,
sure.
you have sent us that video.
We talk a lot of shit about Kenzo, but he got in there and he was chopping back. So good for
Yes.
Kenzo, who was
Japanese
the
worker.
only
They
one.
stopped him.
He's still
Right.
he's still wrestling in Japan.
Really good for him.
Shortly after,
Is he still wrestling?
yeah,
Is he wrestling as Kenzo Suzuki?
I think it's just Kenzo now. Shortly after this,
And you can't teach that.
Kenzo Amore. Yeah.
I would totally book that, by the way.
So shortly after this pay-per-view, Kenzo suffered a collapsed lung, and he was out of wrestling for a little bit. He was sent to the OVW developmental to try to get back into ring shape.
Built
And
up that lung.
During the next draft, he was drafted to Raw, but he never made an appearance, and he was released.
Best wishes.
Number 7, we got Edge doing double duty tonight.
If you know me. If you think you know me.
You think you know me?
I think I know you.
You think you know me?
Yeah, I think I know you. I'll tell you what. I actually, with watching the first match and then heading into this one, Edge finally had some heat on him coming into the Rumble.
Yeah, the fans didn't like the cheap win, so.
And I thought it was really smart, spoiler heading later into the match where Edge really gets to be an Iron Man and gets to really go the distance.
Yeah.
Because by the time the final 4 are in there, or the final 3 are in there, Edge has some really fucking heat where thinking about it, I'm like, I would have just put the fucker over. Like,
Yeah.
he was that over as a heel at that point where he would have got some crazy heat. You could, come up with other booking plans to get to Mania for whatever you want to do.
Just book some bullcrap to get around.
But, like, Edge was he was finally getting some real heat there.
Yeah.
I think the match with Michaels obviously helped. I think the cheap win, like you saw him after that match and we didn't talk about it, but really like putting over the fact that he did it. He beat Shawn Michaels. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty
like
sure that was a
he
sticking
shouldn't have
point
won
for
the
him,
match.
right?
Yeah,
going
definitely.
forward. So I think that helped him. I think it got him the heat later on. But at this point, I think in the Rumble too, like the people were chanting for Guerrero, and I completely forgot how over Eddie Guerrero was because it's been so long.
Yeah.
I mean, get ready for it because they're immediately going to turn him heel anyway.
Number 8 is Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
But that was going to lead into his big, he was basically a babyface as a heel at that point with the Batista.
Well, yeah,
right?
because what I'm thinking of is because you mentioned Rey Mysterio's the next entrant in
Yep.
the big WrestleMania 21 match where they were tag team champions wrestling each other, and they were basically promising that it was going to eclipse their WCW Halloween Havoc match, I believe it was.
Did it?
No, because Ray's mask kept on falling over him. Like, he couldn't see, and he had kept on adjusting his
What kind of
face
wacky
mask.
superhero was he dressed as?
I can't remember what it was now.
Was it Silver Surfer?
It actually might have been Silver Surfer because I remember it was a white outfit, and the mask was not fitted right.
JC, the Silver Surfer is silver.
Whatever.
JC's such a fucking idiot, guys.
He's going to go look it up online.
He's like, hold on, I'll check that one.
Nope, clearly he's white in this frame. I know it. But yeah, they were doing the tag team champions that aren't really like they get along. And
The WWE loves the tag team champions. Can they get along?
And it
Yeah.
looked like Batista was going to be turning in that angle.
no, at the
no, they made it.
they course corrected on some things, but they were really because eventually this Eddie Ray rivalry that started with the Mega Tag Team, then Champions, WrestleMania, it led to Dominic.
The donkey?
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic on a pole, yeah.
Dominic on a pole match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which introduced the world to Miss Vicky Guerrero.
Oh,
Crazy.
man. Where the fuck is Vicky?
Can you imagine at that point ever believing that Vicky Guerrero would then someday become one of the biggest heels in the company?
Nope.
Nope.
Not at all.
Or
Amazing.
even any sort of personality within the company.
Who
Again,
got
in
a
any form.
huge reaction in the 2018
Yeah,
Royal Rumble.
Who you guys didn't vote for.
Well,
I didn't vote at all.
No, I was talking to like the fans.
Yeah, you dumb
The fan.
fucking fans.
Oh my God, number 9 is Shelton Benjamin. Ain't no stopping me. No.
Apparently the IC champ now.
Oh yeah, he was the IC champion.
He was.
When they said that, I was shocked. I'm like, he was the Intercontinental champion.
He sure was. He had this great match with Maven at New Year's
I don't believe
Revolution.
that for a
Not-
second.
It was a
Do
really
not believe you.
It was a really good match. It was in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
That was a hot
make it
show.
good match?
Yeah, it was.
It was warm.
It was
boiling
like
hot.
90-something degrees.
Muhammad Hassan wrestled Jerry Lawler. On
Oh,
that
that's
show.
why Mikey loves us so much.
Yep.
All right.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Number 10, Booker T. Can you dig it, sucker?
Yeah, I can dig it.
Okay. Oh, man. Eric Bischoff comes out and starts yelling.
What do you guys think about King Booker?
Love it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Because that was about a year away from King Booker.
Love
Yeah.
it.
I was
wanna
a
go
big
back
fan
and
of King
watch.
Booker.
Talk
I
about like
actually-
reinventing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Fact.
Yeah.
Because Booker T was just Booker T from WCW right on through, and the WWE crowd loved him, but the reinventing himself as King Booker again was one of those
With Sharmell.
With Sharmell,
Yeah, so good.
Who also became a pretty good heel at that point.
sure did.
Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
King Booker fan. I thought it really worked, and you would never think so, and then you see Booker really flexing his comedy chops within there.
So I remember my cousin MTE had won tickets to the 2006 Survivor Series in Philadelphia, so we got to fly in and got to stay at the same hotel where all the boys.
They
were
flew you
staying.
in?
They flew us in, baby.
Wow.
94 HJY.
Usually, you have to be like a resident of that area.
Yep, they flew us in. It was the first time I've ever been on a plane for my 1-hour plane trip to Philly. And we got to stay in. We got tickets to the show. And they gave us like $50 in cash just to like spend. Just like, here's wacky 94 HJY money. But I'm like,
WWE's like, give it to us. Buy a shirt.
but the main event of that show was World Heavyweight Champion King Booker versus Batista. And it was such a crazy show. And like, I was not watching as intently, especially on SmackDown, but the King Booker act was amazing and it got crazy heat. Yeah, it was just a wild, wild show. We should do that sometime.
King Booker?
That the entire Survivor Series show, because that was also where CM Punk teamed with DX.
Oh, that was a great show. And the Hardy Boys.
Yep.
That was a great show. I really liked that show.
Right.
You were there for that, huh?
I was, yeah. And
that's pretty cool.
He literally just said that.
And
didn't
Flair and Piper, was it Flair and Piper won the tag team titles?
No, it was against the Spirit Squad. It was Flair, Piper, Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, they were already the champions,
Ron
but it was the
Simmons.
entire 4-on-4 Survivor Series match.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Kenny that night because they got squashed.
Yeah, they didn't eliminate a single legend.
Nope.
I think Arn got eliminated because he couldn't do anything.
That might be true. That's pretty. I think Arn was just a manager, but it was a historic show. I think we should maybe do it sometime.
Y2J is number 11.
Weird haircut Jericho phase.
Yeah,
Awkward
hair
phase.
phase.
Talking
Yeah.
about Undertaker.
Right, definitely.
Jericho with that medium length hair. It's kind of like that Shawn Michaels figure that's behind the laptop right now, where he's at a middle phase of his
Yeah.
hair. It's
Oh man!
it's a really
jeez. Ooh, this is 2002, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm happy it's not the brown tights.
So Jericho's number 11, and at this point, we got some heavy hitters besides like a Daniel Puder and a Kenzo Suzuki. They're stacked.
Yeah, Benoit, Guerrero, Edge.
Yep.
Just
Shelton Benjamin, Ray.
yeah, like
Ray.
Booker T.
Booker T, Jericho, and then number 12 comes out.
Yep, even bigger name, Luther Reigns.
What? Horseshoe.
Yep, Horseshoe. He was in WCW briefly, and he was also on an episode of Jenny Jones, going from geek to chic.
What?
Yes.
He was also in The Girl Next Door.
Oh, was he a bodyguard or something in there?
Nope, he was dating one of the porn stars.
Okay.
And in the scene where like there's high school seniors and they're like, they're going to this porn expo and they sit down and they're like, this girl sits down and she's like, what are you guys doing here? And like, we're directors. And she's like, oh, do you want to feel my tits? And they're like, yep, we're horny 17-year-old boys. And then fucking Luther Reigns shows up and goes, what are you guys doing? That's my wife. And she's like, oh, honey, they're directors. He's like, oh, really? Oh, do you want to fuck my wife? Like,
Do you want to feel her tits?
Do you want to fuck her? You want to go for a spin? And then the bodyguard walks in and he's like, man, what you doing with them? Like, these guys are directors. Like, no, they're not, Horseshoe. Them are high school kids. And he gets comically angry and does an entire chase scene.
And that's
Didn't
why
you look like one of those kids from the girl next door?
What's that?
You looked like one of those kids from the movie.
Thanks.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you who.
This is also when I feel like Guerrero got eliminated at this time period.
No, not yet.
Oh,
I know when Guerrero.
No, he got eliminated in about October of 2005.
wow! Because I have to note
teeth.
that this goes towards the big Raw versus SmackDown.
Yes.
that they had.
I believe by number 11 or number 12 with Luther Reigns, they had the SmackDown versus Raw pop. Because
it was right after Luther Reigns came out.
Yes, because they had split and then they all started fighting.
Now,
because then number 13,
favorite,
Muhammad Hassan rejoins everybody back to the same racist.
So
team.
cool. Yeah.
Well, people say that Luther Reigns really sparked the Raw SmackDown rivalry, so they got that big moment to have their big
That's
face
true.
off.
People say he was the face of SmackDown in 2004.
They totally did. And you were right earlier when you mentioned, Mikey, the pop for that was amazing because they held off on it until that point.
It's like the spot we talked about with in the corner of the guardrail.
Oh, yeah.
It's
First
something.
time.
It was one of the first time. I'm sure that they did it. That it really actually got
they really
over.
built around it.
Right.
And it built to that moment. And so I thought it was very clever of them to then subvert it right back for our next entrant.
Number 13, Muhammad Hassan.
So you love Muhammad Hassan, Mikey. Tell us about it.
I as I mentioned, wasn't watching wrestling at this time, and when I did start watching it after this Royal Rumble, the two things that drew me in was a super kick to the face and Muhammad Hassan and Daivari and this Triple H and Batista feud. But Muhammad Hassan and Daivari was just a cool, fresh character, especially after 9/11.
Fresh, huh?
Yeah, after 9/11? Yeah. Well, why would they even like...
I agree. Why?
To even go into do a storyline like that, it's pretty fucking ballsy.
But was the super kick to the face Shelton Benjamin and Shawn Michaels?
No, Shawn Michaels actually just super kicked me in the face.
Yeah, the Shawn Michaels action figure. Just
short-haired
kicked him in
Shawn
the
Michaels
face.
kicked me in
Oh
the
no!
face.
What a terrible Shawn Michaels to kick you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started off as a very progressive gimmick where he was a heel that was angry because people assumed he was a racial stereotype.
And then he became that racial stereotype.
True. They're very true, but the beginning stages of the angle was really
great.
good.
Daivari would speak Farsi in all the matches on the microphone, just getting huge heat.
Yeah, people did not like that.
No, not one bit.
Not one bit. Now, this would never happen today. Not only the whole spot where they all pick him up and toss him out of the ring, that would never happen, but also Muhammad Hassan is played by Mark Copani, an Italian-American.
Right.
Not even remotely Middle Eastern.
Not even close.
So that wouldn't fly today either.
Mikey, I
Jinder
just had...
Mahal is Canadian.
Yes.
But he's an
he
Indian
did-
Canadian. He's from India. He's of Indian descent.
Okay.
What he's saying is that Muhammad Hassan
has
Italian.
no
He's a dude from New
connection.
York.
Right.
Yeah, he's just an Italian guy. He's got no like.
It's like Mark Mero playing a black
guy when he's just a white guy. You know.
Fair enough. I get what you're saying.
It wouldn't fly.
Mikey, I just had another memory. Maybe I'm Mandela affecting it. But you and I went to, I believe it was an XWA show with Daivari on
Yes,
it.
against Blade.
Yes,
and he used the magic carpet.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure we took a photo with him in the ring during intermission.
Did we?
I think we.
That needs to be found.
I don't think we did that.
Yeah, you, me, Taylor Hendricks, and Daivari.
This never
Where
happened.
is this photo?
I'm going to look for
This
it now.
never
And,
happened.
I am, because Taylor sat with us for that night at the show.
Oh, then that's probably why we like. Oh, let's go and take a picture with Daivari,
or because you're a giant Daivari fan, and I'm just finding out about this now.
I would never hid that I was a huge Muhammad Hassan Daivari fan.
I never hid that I was a big fan of Shawn.
Lumberjake knew. I mean,
Shawn.
Muhammad Hassan immediately gets racistly thrown out of the ring after being mugged by everyone who once was fighting. But they're like, we can come together on this.
Yeah, united against terrorism.
Number 14, everyone's favorite, OJ, Orlando Jordan.
Too pulpy.
too pulp. You can get no pulp?
Yeah.
No pulp.
Or,
Not with Orlando Jordan.
How do you feel about Orlando Jordan, guys?
What was the gimmick he did?
Number 4.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, you mean
TNA.
his weird bisexual?
Oh, the bisexual gimmick? Yeah.
Not that okay. It wasn't weird because he was bisexual. It was weird because he acted weird.
They made him do like
he was like pouring milk on himself and stuff.
When I said I never watched any TNA, Mahi. I did watch.
That was Orlando Jordan's name. Mahi.
Yeah, Mahi Jordan. But I watched the first ever TNA Monday night when they went against Raw.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure bisexual Mahi Jordan was in that episode.
He was.
And I was like, what's going on with this guy?
So was Jeff Hardy, Ric Flair, the Nasty Boys, Val
Hulk
Venus,
Bubba the Love Sponge?
Hulk Hogan,
Bubba the
Bubba
Love Sponge.
The band?
Yep, the band.
The band?
The band was back together.
The band was back.
Oh, took me a second.
Yeah, the big red cage you couldn't see anything through.
Yep.
That was fun.
Smart. Smart.
Number 15, Scotty Too Hottie.
Banging it. Too bad he never makes it to the ring, though.
Yeah, Muhammad Hassan attacked Scotty Too Hottie before he can even
And
reach
all the people that had just ganged up to throw him out of the ring, just watch.
What are they going to do? Get out of the ring?
What are they going to do?
Yeah,
Eliminate
he can
themselves?
step through the fucking ropes, you idiots.
They were
Help Scotty Too Hottie out. He's been with the company for fucking 30 years.
Collateral damage.
I thought
it's
you liked
Scott
Hassan.
Taylor.
Why would you want to see him get beat up again?
I also love Scotty Too Hottie.
I went to a SmackDown and ECW taping in Boston, and the loudest pop of the night was for the very first match, which was a dark match with Scotty Too Hottie and Kevin Thorne. The place went crazy for Scotty Too Hottie.
Not for Kevin Thorne, though.
No. But they love Scotty Too Hottie.
He was one of the perfect attitude. I mean, because Scott Taylor's been around forever.
Yes.
And
he's really good.
A local boy for us. But I mean, when he got over with the Worm in 2000, like, holy shit, he's made for life.
Yep.
If he still wanted to be doing shows now, he would be a main event guy on any indie show.
Yeah.
If you
Doing
want
the Worm.
I heard when Triple H got discovered, they were actually scouting Scott Taylor at a whatever show
IWF, I
Yeah.
believe.
Things really start to drop off for the next few entrants.
I disagree. Next, number 16 is Charlie Haas.
Yeah.
You disagree, huh?
Okay. Number 17's Renee Dupree.
Oh, French tickler?
Okay.
Yeah. See,
He brought the dog with him.
yeah, Fifi.
Oh, wait.
That's the debut of Gay Taz tonight when he hits the French tickler. I'm a Frenchman.
Yeah, brother. We talked about this off air that Rene Dupree's the basis of his character from You, Me, and Dupree.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
That wasn't a joke?
No, it was a
Why would you mention it
WTF
twice?
moment. Mike David thinks You, Me, and Dupree is based about
twice?
Rene Dupree.
Because I knew if I did it twice, you'd fall right into
can't
my
wait-
trap.
I can't wait for the
Christ.
peekies
Nailed it.
from Mike Pave's stupidest moment of the year, our newest award.
Fuck.
We're just going to have its own category.
Yeah,
I
Mike.
think you should just clip them all together.
It's
that
the-
way it's like one row.
It's the Mike
running.
Pava Gullah Bull of the year. It's a little bull
Do I have to give
statue.
him a little bull?
Yep.
Yep.
He is a little bull. He's full of a little bull. There was actually this really cool moment where Haas and Benjamin reunited, and they did their world's greatest tag team leapfrog move. That was a really cool moment.
When did they break up?
2004.
Okay.
They were
So
the
it
original.
wasn't-
They were the original Team Angle.
Correct.
So did Haas get moved to Raw?
No,
No, Benjamin.
Benjamin got moved to Raw.
because the
Became
IC title was on Raw.
Haas was
Gotcha.
not doing well for himself on his own,
Better than Russ.
but he ended up. Oof.
Wow.
Some dark. We went.
Oh my
dark.
god!
Wow.
Next in is number 18, Simon Dean, who recently made his debut on Raw a few weeks prior. JR says, "I'm weary of guys in powder blue."
I agree.
Chris Benoit happened to be wearing powder blue at this event.
Yeah. Notice that.
Yeah. Good call, JR.
Yeah. Simon Dean,
Friend of the
friend of the show,
Friend of the
formerly
Nova.
New Nasty Nova.
The new Nasty Nova.
Nasty Nova.
Yep. Also, friend of the show, and drove his elbow into JC's
I was watching
heart.
this. I was watching the
JC's
show
best
with
friend.
I was watching the show with my girlfriend, and she was like, "I've never heard of Simon Dean." I'm like, "It was Nova." She's like, "I don't know who that is." I'm like, "The new Nasty Nova." She's like, "Oh."
That's what did it. Oh.
So Simon Dean coming out to the ring doing his squats is enough to distract Eddie Guerrero and cause Eddie Guerrero to get tossed out of the ring by Edge.
Yep. Which got a huge reaction.
Yes.
The ultimate opportunist.
Number 19 is Shane Michaels. That's Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
Typo.
Yeah.
Michael Shane? No.
Yeah,
sorry.
no.
Shawn Michaels, number 19. Also doing double duty. Not a lot of guys doing double duty in this match, which I thought was cool. I always hate that.
Well, there's 4 matches?
Well, yeah.
But usually when you're on the undercard,
You're not in the Rumble.
which is what happened with DB, Daniel Bryan. It was the Rumble where it was Bray Wyatt,
Everybody
right.
wanted him on.
And he was not in.
and they expected him to be number 30.
But there was a point where everyone.
They
People
booed Rey Mysterio
set
that year.
themselves up for that. They thought and made it up into their heads that this was going to happen.
I mean,
And when
was
it
that
didn't, they were
wrong?
disappointed.
Like,
yes.
The people wanted.
Because-
So you're
Yes.
mad that the people wanted to see what they
No,
wanted to see.
they made up a whole fucking storyline in their head that was going to happen, and if it didn't
So you're saying
happen,
that collectively 15,000 people.
no, a
all
little bit more than
collectively-
that.
Well,
those
mean,
dummies. WWE's never going to just change their booking on the fly just to appease them and their whim. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
Why would the WWE want to make their fans happy?
Oh, wait. That's exactly what they did.
Do they? Do they do that today?
Well, now that
No.
there's the new
No.
WWE with more McMahon.
Oh, look. Number 20 is Kurt Angle.
Oh, no.
So Kurt Angle had actually stolen Nunzio's number.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say,
Earlier in the night.
Nunzio made it better than Scotty Too Hottie did. He just got to give his number
Yeah,
away.
he just got punked out in the back. He was like, honey, I
You know
did
what?
great.
Muhammad Hassan should have stolen the spot and come back into the match.
Scotty Too Hottie's
Yeah.
Fact.
He just
Yeah.
pulls Scotty Too Hottie's number out of his pocket. Like he's just carrying it. I'm turning in another coupon. That's how they work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Totally
Turn your
how
number
they
in like
work.
a coupon.
And then the man I thought was going to win the Royal Rumble.
Kurt Angle?
Nope.
Oh,
Next entrant.
Coach.
Number 21, Jonathan Coachman.
Why did it feel like Coach was always in the Rumble? He was only in 2, but it felt like he was always in the fucking
Well,
Rumble.
old Jonathan Coachman having his 16th televised match here at the
At this
Royal
point?
Rumble. Yes.
Wow.
As of now, he has had 30 TV matches
Jesus
and
Christ.
24 house show matches.
Wow.
Holy crap.
And he currently
I asked my money back.
and he sits at a record of 6-47-1.
Who was the one tie?
I don't know who went to the no contest with Coach. It
They
may
had
have.
their name redacted. They never want to be revealed.
I can tell you for a long time he was married to Eugene and Santino. Like
I
on the
thought you meant
house show
actually
loop.
married. That's the funny
Yes.
part.
Coach comes in and immediately hits Chris Benoit. What are you doing?
And then runs and cowers in the corner.
As he should.
He laid on the ground and hugged that
He
bottom
had one
rope.
hell of a grip on that because Benoit was
Ripping
legitimately
him.
trying to rip him off.
He was.
I think he was pissed.
Yes.
Was it the 2000 Rumble where Road Dogg was
Just
under
hugged the bottom rope
Yeah,
the
he's like,
whole
oh,
night."
Mahi, I'm under this bottom rope.
Yeah, he just hugged the bottom rope the entire time he was in there.
That should have been a great bit. He should have done, or he should have done the Jerry Lawler in '96.
hit under the ring.
Yeah, which was your last. That was your last Best in Show.
Oh, was it? I couldn't. I was
The
trying to
'96
remember.
Rumble.
Coach wants none of Chris Benoit, who rips his shirt off just so he can chop him.
Yup.
And
I gotta say, Coach looked pretty good.
I bet right before he went out, they said, hit Benoit first. That's like the first thing.
I think he goes through the curtains. They all just start laughing.
Yeah,
being
sucker.
like, "Do you think he's dumb enough to hit
You
Benoit
think he's going to
first?"
do it?
Kurt Angle immediately gets eliminated from this Rumble.
Yes.
Like
But that
was-
sets up WrestleMania.
Yep.
he comes in a House of Fire, immediately gets eliminated. Kurt Angle snaps and tosses Shawn Michaels out of the ring.
Which eliminates him.
Why does a person coming back in qualify?
They changed their mind.
I feel like that
They
didn't
go-
eliminate him, but Shawn Michaels being destroyed by him afterwards is
Okay.
what did him in. Like the angle lock on the ground and on
But
the
they,
stairs.
they do go back and forth at times,
Whatever
whether
the storyline wants.
whatever it fits.
Sometimes
yeah.
you can eliminate yourself. Sometimes it doesn't count when Macho Man gets too excited and jumps
Right.
over the top rope. Whatever.
Or when Mil Mascaras, he did his own dive out.
Yep. Yeah, Kurt snaps on Shawn, and luckily Finley, Steve Keirn, and Dean Malenko there are to break it up. Now, Simon Dean is actually a parody of Dean Malenko, whose real name is Dean Simon, who's a very high fitness guy, so they were making fun of him.
You know
You
what?
get it?
Yeah, I
Nope.
get it. I do.
Dean Simon is what I said.
I
Did you
do.
get it?
Is this thing on?
I do respect the new nasty Simon Dean, because eventually, a few months later, he got double pay because he got to appear on SmackDown as Simon Dean
And
as
Nova.
Nova for
Yeah,
the BWO.
That was at the Great American Bash 2005. He was on the pay-per-view twice, I want to say.
like
That's cool.
That's pretty good. You worked yourself into getting two paydays on that.
Number 23 is Viscera.
Did we miss 22?
Number 22, Mark Jindrak.
I did not miss him at all.
You'd be the only one missing.
All right, number 22 was Viscera.
Number 23 is Viscera. Number 24, Paul London.
Paul London won the last spot of the Rumble by winning a Fatal 4-Way match between Spike Dudley, Shannon Moore, and Funaki.
My one note for Viscera was I thought he was dead in 2005. Good for him.
Good for him.
Like, I was shocked.
He just died like last year.
He hadn't even.
I would if in 2008 he'd come out. I would have been like, in 2008 I thought he was dead.
In 2008, you'd be like, good for him.
Good for him still being alive.
He probably was in the 2008 Rumble. He was Big Daddy V or the Love Machine or something.
I actually believe he was in, because was 2008 the Rumble where Cena came back with a big surprise?
I don't know. We'll find it next year on Best in Show.
You can vote next year. You won't, but you could.
This Paul London does bring me my spot of this Rumble.
No, I believe Snitsky will bring you your spot of the Rumble.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, I have that written down too.
Number 25, John Cena.
We can get to it.
That he didn't have that music yet.
No.
So, you think you're untouchable. World life, it's a basic thugonomic.
Oh, Ruck Fools?
It's a basic thugonomic.
Which also wouldn't happen in 2018. Ruck Fools.
When I'm fighting or spitting, the discipline is unforgiving. Got you backing up in a defensive position. An ass-kicking anthem. Heavyweight of bantam. No hands or ransom. Microphone phantom. Teams hit the floor. It's a new Michael Jordan. Like a broken needle, you just missing the point.
See what you made him do?
Who made him do it? He did that all by himself.
Mikey knew what he was going to do.
They had a lot of Ruck Fools, and then Carlito had like Eat Spit, and then like just
don't forget about cum guzzling Mahi.
Yeah. Stone Cold.
Get your shirt.
Stone Cold had one that was Fuck Fear, but it was like the
right.
It was replaced by Stone Cold's skulls. It was those were all the same basic thing.
Ruthless aggression.
Cena just comes in and starts hitting everyone sloppily. It was really funny.
A note from the Observer says Cena enters the ring like every indie guy ever would have, just running and hitting everybody.
He really did.
He wasn't even. He was just
still the case.
Sloppy elbow.
He was just literally just ran and just jumped into people.
It's a metaphor, man. He was running from his father the whole time.
Aww.
Johnny Fabo?
Yep.
Yeah, Chickapoo.
Number 26 is Snitsky bringing me to my match, to the spot of the match.
What?
Man.
Snitsky comes in and he tosses Paul London over the top rope without a question, and that's it.
Nope. Moving on. It was my spot.
Paul London goes to the apron, and he ducks one from Snitsky, turns around, eats a second line, and does basically a shooting star press off the apron and just face bumps.
Fucking
amazing.
Is that the greatest elimination ever in a Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I believe so. Because again, the first time...
Nutson's Takamichinoku.
Well, and when stuff like this happens, the stretch...
He got tossed over the top rope and his head bounced off the goddamn ground like a basketball.
Find it out next year when we do the 2000 Royal Rumble.
Except his was a front flip, and he ended up doing a full rotation, landing on flat on his head.
Unfortunately, he wasn't even in the Rumble. He was just like running into it.
That was the same Rumble that Cena came back, 2008.
Yeah, well, the Taka one, Jerry Lawler replayed it 15
million times.
He's like, hey, put it back on. I realized watching this is that Paul London and Shelton Benjamin fused together form Kofi Kingston.
Okay, I can see that.
Because the Paul London crazy, and then in a little bit in this match, Shelton's doing kind of a little bit of the...
Shelton Benjamin was the original Kofi, like at WrestleMania. He would do the crazy spots.
He would, but then Paul London would be like, hold my beer. Hold my face mask.
Yeah.
And then would do even crazier. So I feel like if you fuse these two together...
Foosball.
If there was some kind of Emerald fusion, they would be they'd be Kofi.
Number 27 is Kane.
What? He's from Raw.
And he's not in the casket.
So one thing I'll say about this Rumble is that I liked how Taz kept pushing like the SmackDown.
Right.
Like,
Taz.
oh, where's the SmackDown guys? I need another SmackDown guy.
I mean,
I love when he started really razzing Jim Ross when Coach came. I was like, "Oh, there's a good Raw guy, real good Raw guy you got there."
That was it. Kind of brings me back to the beginning of the match where they were trying to figure out who the commentators were going to be.
Yes, and Cole introduces JR, and it's gonna be JR and Taz.
Straight Taz.
And JR's like, "Can you keep up with me, kid? Can you keep up with me? You ready for the big game? Ready for the big
Boomer Sewer?"
And Jay Taz is like, "Not yet."
He goes, Boomer Sooner, and Taz goes, "Yeah, go Brooklyn."
But yeah, that was that elimination though probably was one of the coolest ones in the entire. Like, I can't think of somebody else that like got eliminated in a way that like blows my mind. Where like that. Even watching it now, I was like, "Holy crap!"
It's never been done since.
Well, then to play the seriousness of it, the stretchered out, like it was just,
that was cool.
It made it seem worse than it was because he's getting like carried out.
But see, that's the thing I don't think they do anymore because everything is so. It's like, okay, now we're done with this segment. Let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
They don't let anything breathe. Give it a second to sell it.
Next in was, London gets carted out, and next in is Batista.
Yeah, Big Dave.
What fucking Evolution got the great numbers.
Batista won a Royal Rumble qualifying match and a handicap match against La Resistance the week before on Raw.
And
good thing he won.
Not only did he defeat them, he jammed a flagpole up their ass.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Sure.
His flagpole is his dick, right?
No, it was a flagpole.
Oh.
But like the entire flagpole into his anus.
Right.
He made Rob Conway a flagpole sitter.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Danger reference.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
It's one of the B-sides of Harvey Danger.
I just recently heard it.
Yeah, one of their obscure songs. Batista comes in. Batista bombs Kane, which was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
But cool Big Dave, man. He gets to do the cool shit.
Jericho gets tossed out at this point, so
Jericho did nothing in this match, huh?
Yeah, he was just there though.
Just happy to be here.
Number 29 is Christian. At last, you're on your
Actually, no. This
His
was the
music
fucking
wasn't that.
badass waterproof blonde. No,
Yeah.
Nope, this was the Open Your
If
Eyes.
you close your eyes and mind, and truth be
So
But
good.
it's the original
Yeah.
one with the female singer,
Yes.
Waterproof Blonde, because
Yeah.
when he came back, it was like Story of a Year.
And it wasn't as
It was a
good.
guy.
Yeah. It was
Go!
yeah, man, that fucking... Again, I'm like, they're going to push Christian badass
Remember
new
that
music.
when he goes single, he had the huge like fireworks coming down where it was the Christian, you're on
Right.
your
Yeah,
That was-
and,
the raining.
fireworks are coming
That was
down.
But
really
this was
cool.
like the main event song. Like this was like it felt like
Yeah.
shit, this is a big
is it.
deal.
Turning
Yeah.
point.
Like he had finally cut his hair.
Christian's like, yeah, Turning Point, the name of the TNA pay-per-view. See you later.
Having Tomko kind of as his diesel to his HBK.
Yeah, that
Like,
was cool.
I wanted so much for Christian. And to his credit, the first guy he goes after is John Cena because that's who he had beef with earlier.
Yep, I like that. I kind of had that problem with Shawn Michaels and Edge that they didn't go after each other immediately.
Yeah.
That was
They
weird.
did
to me.
eventually though.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a right away.
Shawn should have been pretty fucking heated though, right? He should have gone right after it.
This
Yeah.
was also, I feel like, the rumble of people doing someone else's poses.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Shawn,
Edge did Shawn's.
Yep. Edge
Shawn
did
also
and
did-
Shawn did somebody else's.
He eliminated Simon Dean after Simon Dean did
and
his thing
starts doing
and
the-
started doing like squats in the
I
ring.
feel like he did someone else's too. Like
Rene Dupree because
Yes.
he did the little like the jump back
after
and forth.
eliminating Renee.
Yes.
Yes.
number 30 is Ric Flair.
Big surprise there.
What did
It
Ric
was for some of us.
What did Ric Flair do to Chris Benoit to get Chris Benoit to just start
Holy-
chopping the crap out of Ric Flair?
He said, "Why don't you give me one chop?" Ric Flair immediately goes after fucking Coach. The first person he attacks is Coach and tosses him out.
"Of course, that makes sense."
Yeah, Benoit just beats the living shit out of Benoit
Holy
or the Flair. Ric Flair starts like directing traffic with Batista, having Batista just toss people left and right. Christian, Benoit just getting tossed out, and then Rick tries to throw Batista out of the ring,
As
and
he's running around,
and
just
he's running
lets
around,
him-
and he gets caught caught on him basically, and he like stumbles because he can't throw him.
Yeah.
Because he's so big and strong and cool and handsome and tough.
yeah. Like Batista's like what Roman Reigns should have been.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's just like, but Batista's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Like in real life, I mean, genuinely.
Yeah. Did you ever see his MMA fight?
No.
Yeah. Maybe you should watch The Fight Before Christmas.
Booyah.
Check
Never
out the
heard of it.
playlist. son.
Yep. Flair gets tossed over. Mysterio, Edge. We get our final two: Batista and John Cena.
So this is the part of the show that really gets talked about, and
Why is that, Mikey?
And it
Because
really
all fucking hell breaks loose.
see. I'm gonna call some bullshit here.
Oh wait. Okay, go ahead. I'm with you.
You're not buying that this is a shoot?
No, I think this was planned to happen.
Yep.
I think
it
this was
was.
the original, like what was supposed to happen, and it fucking. Here's the thing.
Okay.
There's been 3 double eliminations I've seen in my life that came out perfectly.
Yeah.
One was Lumberjake and GA.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
at
That's
WrestleFest.
exactly what I was gonna say.
2 was this one,
Yep.
and 3 I can't think off the top. of my
Bret
head.
Hart.
Why did you say 3?
This is probably a third.
This is probably
the
one.
Bret Hart.
The 94
Oh, but
Rumble
Bret,
was-
but that
Hart
was
and-
although that
was
was
not
not
perfect.
But that wasn't
No.
perfect. But they did a good job at hiding it with the camera.
Correct.
So, but
except when they showed 5 replays.
but this one, just the way that they fell out, yeah, that was fucking lucky as fuck. But
I'm with you, Mikey.
I just
I
don't
also
think-
feel like
Here's
I don't
why.
think it was this.
Here's why I think it was a shoot. Because after they fell, they raised Batista's hands, and the SmackDown refs nodded like, "Yes, he won." And then I feel like the earpiece got the message. Hold on. And Bruce Pritchard said that they were checking to see if they landed at the same time on camera. When they saw that they landed at the same time, they had to do something. They couldn't show footage saying Batista won because
If
they
he
landed at
didn't.
the same time. Exactly. Because when the fucking Raw ref raises Batista's hand,
Right, immediately.
and SmackDown ref acknowledges. Jimmy Corderas says yes, he won. And then they stop, and then the referees do the split.
Right.
No Raw guy, no SmackDown guy, and that's when it all. And then Vince comes out.
Oh, Vince.
fucking,
I want to know how much he's on, like, steroids wise, to tear both his quads
30 years worth of
coming into the ring.
Well, the rumor
well,
I
here's-
heard is Vince does not know how to run.
I believe that.
Well, it
Vince McMahon
wasn't.
does not know how to run, so he did what he thought was running.
I honestly thought he had to poop. Originally, when I saw it, I thought he had to poop.
is that why there was
Well,
that
that's the
saying on the
Vince.
canvas?
That's the Vince walk, and then he tried.
But he tried to do the
and then he
running
tries to
Vince
run
walk.
and tries to slide in the ring, which
Smashes his quad.
Smashes
No,
both
If he
quads.
just walked into the ring,
the first quad was hitting against the apron.
The second one was trying
quad
to put
was
all of
trying
his
to
weight on the
stand
second
up.
one.
So that was the first one. Boom, he slides in. Second one tries to get up. Boom, that's when the other
Because
one
at least
goes.
he could stand on one leg.
Yeah.
My favorite part is he's just sitting there and everyone's just watching him. I felt like he's like a kid throwing a temper tantrum.
God damn, who ruined my rumble?
You guys
Oh,
fell to
man.
Actually, you know,
Not selling a goddamn thing.
you know what?
Amazing.
Fuck London spot. I'm gonna say the spot of the match.
Is Vince tearing his quad?
No.
Oh.
When John Cena threw Batista out of the ring, and then Batista threw John Cena out of the ring when they didn't decide yet.
Yep.
That was really smart.
Batista went
That was very
first,
smart.
And then Cena did it after.
Yeah.
That was very
okay.
smart.
Agreed.
I
So-
thought that was really good.
Are you? I mean, I'm kind of. I can see what Lumberjake is saying.
I do see what Lumberjake is saying, but I also feel like they were already in position to raise each guy's hands. I understand what you're saying about future Hall of Famer Jimmy Corderas. I do. I do. But I feel I kind of side with Mikey where it feels a little like it's just too much of a work. And
because I think it was one of them. I feel like you could see them jumping into the spot because they didn't just like
the
topple over.
the story they say is that Batista, he says that he picked Cena up for the power bomb with such force that the velocity overshot Cena, and he was just like whoa,
and
going
that's
towards
what looks like happens.
right. But the way
Cena had his legs hooked in
Under
that kept
Dave's
him,
legs.
and then I feel like you could see
Under his arms,
Dave's
rather.
jumping over to go together.
so unless the spot was originally supposed to be Batista hangs on, like
But
on the
to me,
apron,
it looks like Cena's trying to hang on when they go over.
I don't know.
And I don't know
You know
if he's
what it is?
doing that just to make sure that they do land at the same
Cena
time.
was trying
Cena
to
went to
take
business for
Batista
himself.
out.
Like, I just don't understand.
It's the first. We have just witnessed the first instance of John Cena trying to get himself over.
So is this a conspiracy theory?
Yep.
To me, it's
Wrestling
a
conspiracy
Okay.
theory.
Yeah. Well, so where do you land on it officially, Ruy?
I mean, I think it's a work. I think just because I'm like rewatching it in my mind's eye, and in it I can see Dave jumping with it, which makes me think it's a spot instead of because if he wasn't supposed to go over, if he held on to the middle rope, John fends for himself in that spot. Batista wins the Rumble. But with the leg hooks, I feel like Dave's a strong enough guy that he could have held on.
He's got
to that
show
rope.
muscle.
You both make valid points.
I also appreciate you just calling him John and Dave.
Yeah,
I appreciate
like
old friends.
Big Dave and Big Show John.
My old notes just use a lot of first names. I was actually making eye contact with Mikey the
Big
entire
Match
time.
John and Big Dave.
Yeah. We're on first name basis.
Vince,
Yeah.
Vince says the match is going to be restarted. So I'm like, all 30 men back in.
I'm only disappointed that the referee didn't come over and just hold the microphone down near Vince's mouth.
With both of them going over the top rope, but that means Scotty 2 Hotty won.
Yes. Yes.
That would have been amazing.
Scotty 2 Hotty never got in the ring. They both went over the top rope and got
You're right.
eliminated.
So this could have
Scotty
been
2 Hotty
Scotty
won
2
the
Hotty
2004 Royal Rumble.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned,
I agree with you.
he
Only
never
man not to get thrown over the top.
I
Yeah.
am currently taping up a change.org petition to have Scotty 2 Hotty be recognized.
Officially recognized.
match gets restarted. Basically, Batista goes over very
Immediately.
fast.
So that's the only thing
yes.
that leans it towards shoot territory
Yeah,
for me.
correct.
Because
I will agree with that.
the restarting of the match, that does feel like, oh crap, fuck, let's just end this.
Right.
JC, how long did that match feel to you?
Let's go with, because it was probably like 90-second intervals. I'm going to say 49 minutes.
That match went 51 minutes and 7 seconds.
All right. All right.
Chris Benoit would be the Iron Man of the match,
Okay.
Erased from history.
followed
Chris
by
who?
Benoit. Benoit.
Oh, okay.
Yes, followed by Edge.
Oh, so you're telling me Edge was the Iron Man of the 2005 Royal Rumble?
Correct.
Yes, that's exactly
Thanks
what
to
I'm saying.
revisionist history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer voted the best match of the night was a tie between Shawn Michaels and Edge and Randy Orton and Triple H.
What?
Giving them both 3.25 stars.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Was he trying to get a job there?
Dave Meltzer's worst match of the night was the Royal Rumble match.
What?
Which received a dud rating.
Wow.
What is a dud rating?
It's
a
lower
zero
than a
star.
1 star.
Zero stars.
0 stars.
Not negative.
Wow. So now we're going to open up our casket,
Ooh.
which contains our votes, which we did before we started
Oh
recording.
no, it's
this thing.
Kane.
How did he get in that casket?
Kane's also voting?
Okay, so
All right.
I'm opening up the first ballot.
First ballot.
And the best match, Edge versus HBK. Worst match, the casket match.
Okay.
Okay. This one, best match, the casket match, Undertaker and Heidenreich.
Wait.
I think we know. I think we know who voted for that one.
The worst match, Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Okay. So wait, one match has already gotten best and worst.
Yes.
In back-to-back matchings.
That's
Okay.
that's what
good.
Best in Show is all about.
Uh-huh.
The best match was the Royal Rumble. The worstest match was Taker versus Heidenreich.
All right, so that's 2 for the casket match.
Yeah.
Well, 3.
Well,
That one
too
best
bad.
rating. Let's not totally discount them. They can still win. Best match, the Royal Rumble match. Royal Rumble would win the best. And the worst would be the fucking casket match.
So the Royal Rumble, the
Royal
titular
Rumble
match,
Yep.
wins the.
So I
Whole
will say
thing.
I voted for the Rumble. I was like thinking about everything. I really just kind of enjoyed the flow of the Rumble. I feel
Oh, so
like
it
they
wasn't
did
a
really-
dud to you?
Well,
That
I
blows
also
my.
wouldn't have. I completely forgot how bad. Like us talking about the Triple H match, I probably would have changed it to that because it was. I think I'm not gonna lie. I part fell asleep,
And that's
at
why
this
we
point in the
don't
Rumble.
discuss things before
Exactly.
we record
Right.
because
We don't
then
wanna influence.
we could influence your vote.
100%.
All this dud talk. Were the Dudley Boys still in the company by this point?
They were. I
I feel
think
like
they were both.
I feel like they were on hiatus at
Yeah,
this point.
they were off TV for some reason.
I feel
and-
like they were off TV until One Night Stand.
wow.
All right. I was just because I was thinking like because obviously there were no tag team title matches on the show. But the Dudley Boys were pretty synonymous with things for so long. Just
Also, RVD had a an MCL tear or something, so he wasn't in there.
I forgot he was in.
Undertaker and Heidenreich got 3/4 of a star from Dave Meltzer.
How does the Rumble
generous.
get a dud, and that even got a star?
Blows my mind.
It was awful.
And then the triple threat match got a star and 3/4, so not 2.
So overall, I really enjoyed this show.
Me too.
And I don't know if it was because I haven't seen it, but you haven't seen it either, or at least haven't seen it in a long time.
I feel like
and
JC hated this
You felt.
show.
I feel like you did too. I feel like you
How do
hate
you
a
feel
lot
about
of
it?
things.
How do you feel about it?
I did not like a lot of this show. I think 2005. Maybe it's just because I was just getting back into it, but I did not like a lot of the undercard.
How about the Undertaker?
I was not a fan of awkward hair phase Undertaker.
I thought that was a really solid match. Heidenreich carried his own.
What? You are crazy.
I can't believe
the poor Undertaker doing everything in his power, and that's saying a lot because it's the Undertaker to like make that match passable.
And it worked.
I'll tell you what.
He did it.
I was really a fair weather fan at this point because I was just getting back into watching it.
And there was no fair weather around.
I just started running shows again myself after a 2-year stint of not running anything. So I was trying to get like my
In tribute of Princess Di.
Right. I was trying to get my love and passion of the business back, and it was really kind of like I really loved Batista, and I really loved what they were doing, and I was a big fan of his ascension to the top.
Ascension.
But seeing how they treated some of my other favorites and seeing what they're doing like with Christian, it was tough. And I'll tell you what, the only thing that saved me in 2005 was the return of ECW in the One Night Stand show, and that really kind
One
of
Night Stand was a very good show.
sparked something in me again where I was like, holy shit, this is what I've loved about pro wrestling. And it kind of got me excited to run shows again, and it got me excited to watch more WWE.
Well, I've got some good news for you, JC, because later this season we will be watching
What?
One Night Stand.
Oh my god!
With all good
Sweet.
Anthony
I'm sorry.
Green.
Oh my god!
There you go.
Awesome.
Getting the feel of it.
I hope AG's up for the task.
Yes, One Night Stand 3. Randy Orton versus Rob Van Dam in a stretcher match. All the best.
Oh my god!
Oh, amazing.
That was the disgusted Joey Styles. Oh
It
my
sure
god!
was.
I know. I know.
But yeah, no, I wasn't as in love with the show as Mikey was.
I really like this show too.
So I will say I liked the show.
This is also coming off a string of really bad pay-per-views for WWE
Which
at this
I've
point.
never seen.
So this really was a shining moment. It's been the beginning of
and the
2005.
next pay-per-view, No Way Out, JBL versus Big Show in a barbed wire steel cage
Hey, what
match.
you talking about? Get out of
Oh,
here!
Bob the Ref Wire.
Yeah.
First time ever.
Oh, three-way theater debut.
Friend of the show, Barb the Ref.
Hard pass.
So we're
I guess
doing-
you could say we're 3 peas in a pod.
Cast.
Well,
We forgot that earlier.
Yeah,
You're missing your own spots. It's not good.
we miss our spots
All the time.
Matches,
It's almost like
podcasts.
that is the spot.
Right, exactly. We'll split that
Liver.
in later. So Lumberjake. So we're going to be doing Fighting with My Family next as our
Yes.
proper episode. What's our next Best in Show? What are we going to do in February?
Best in Show in February. We have a few guests lined up. I'm thinking maybe we have on Mr. Kevin Castro.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kevin Thomas.
And yeah, Kevin
The
Thomas.
Riot
too.
Kevin Thomas.
Oh.
He's our good friend. He's been on all the shows.
I believe our next guest is going to be Kevin Castro
Oh.
as we watch WWF's Global Warming.
You're sending him back into international waters?
Yep. We're watching Global Warming, the very first ever exclusive Australian pay-per-view, mate.
I'm so happy
Damn
we
it.
watched this Royal Rumble.
It come
for
from a
mine.
land down under.
I got to ask you, do you hate Kevin Castro?
I think so.
Like, genuinely,
think so.
do you hate the man?
But he loves him. This is the thing, which I don't understand. He gives him the worst shows to review.
I'm just being told by our producer, Daisy, that it's Kellen Thomas.
Oh.
I've been calling him Kevin for years.
Daisy's also telling us it's time to wrap it up.
Oh, she says this podcast was really rough.
Hey everyone, I'm Lumberjake.
I'm Mike Bava.
I'm JC.
And I'm Ruy Batello.
And this has been
5-star classic.
Best in the show.
Three-way theater?
The match of the night.
Best in show, three-way theater. Three-way theater, best in show.
Hey, can anybody let me borrow $4?
Really?
$4.
You?
Yeah,
No.
I need $4.
Ford.
He needs it for the toll.
Need it for the toll.
I do have $4 for you.
If I can get a plate of mahi-mahi in Orlando.